uh, head of all activities here at Chaotic Radio. My main man B, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, Ryan. How about yourself?
Oh man, I had a crazy weekend, dude. I had a real crazy weekend.
What happened, man?
Well, if you guys listen to the show, you always hear me talk about my kids, because my wife and I are foster parents, and so yesterday just reminded me of how fucking old I am, dude. Holy shit.
I'm curious what happened.
Yeah. Well, first, here's a good segue. I'm getting good at this. Thanks, B, by the way, for this comic book that you brought me, as you were. It's a punk rock comic, so I appreciate that, man.
Dude, I think you're going to dig it. I remember getting it when I was in Seattle, and there was a couple guys that had their booths, and all they did was do comics about punk rock and stuff, so.
Nice.
You're going to love it, man.
Yeah, let's try to get a hold of them and see if we can interview them on the show.
They're down. A couple guys are down, so if you down, I'll make it happen.
All right. So without telling you all the bad stuff that happens, right? Because none of the kids come to my house because they, had good lives. So I try to make everything fun for them, And one of the little girls, I had three girls with me all day, so I was doing the dad thing all day long, taking them shopping, getting them clothes for school and stuff like that, and actually dropping off the 17-year-old at work. But one of the little girls had never been to a comic book store, so that was part of the festivities. And then in Redlands, where my daughter got a job, right down the street, the San Bernardino County Museum, right? Yep. So I went to the San Bernardino County Museum with these girls, and fuck, dude. On display was a bunch of shit that I knew what it was, but they had no clue. And I haven't been in the museum in a long time.
Okay.
So as they were going through, the communication parts, right, they're showing the old phones, like the old school, the ones where you crank up and it's got the fucking handles. Yeah, but then it starts going to, the rotary phones, and they're looking at what is this? And they couldn't figure out how to use a rotary phone, and I was like, and I was trying to show them, all right, it's, it's not an app, you gotta use your finger to do this. And then the next booth over was they had pagers. I swear to God.
Really? At the museum?
At the museum.
I got a pager at my desk at work, man.
Dude, yeah. They had no idea. And I was like, look, either you were cool or a drug dealer back in the day, and that's why you had a pager, and I had explained to them how that shit worked. And then they were just tripping out on typewriters. They were like, what is this? And I was showing it to you. I was like a tour guide. Everything I did in the museum I knew. Anyway.
Oh, that's awesome. It's horrible, but awesome. Because I'm with you, man. I'm thinking all that stuff I still have.
Right?
Packed up somewhere.
So anyway, man, I had a great time. But, and then, so I was thinking back to me getting all mouthy last week about those Proud Boy guys and shit. You know? And I was thinking, I was like, I figured I always get these rad drunk epiphanies. And I figured out how we can end most racism. Sorry, B, I know you're black. I can't help you on that one. That sounded rude, but it was about Mexicans.
As your boss,
I meant about Mexicans. All right, I had this drunk epiphany, man, because I went to a fucking Mexican party last night, and I'm talking about a real fucking Mexican party
with the boots and the cowboy hats and the chente playing with the tequila.
That's right. All the beer was Modelo. The food was birria de chivo and
I fucking love birria.
Yeah, so that's it's like a beef stew of a cow and a goat and shit. And I was just thinking, I was like, you know what? I think instead of fucking trying to fight Nazis all the time, maybe they or anybody that doesn't like Mexicans, you just need to find some Mexican people and ask them to be your friend and have them come over to a Mexican party. You will fucking have the time of your fucking life. That shit was hilarious, man. They had a fucking piñata, and when the little kids were swinging, first off, if you've never been around a Mexican place with piñata, you got to step back at least 20 feet because you're going to get fucked up. But they actually had the sound system playing, and they were playing the fucking theme music of fucking The Ultimate Warrior. When the fucking kids, yeah, dude, they rocked this fucking party. And then they had this Mexican fucking, what was he, a magician? Holy shit, he was the worst magician I've ever seen. He was fucking terrible, but it was so terrible. He was fucking hilarious, man. I was having so much fun. I was holding my gut, laughing because he brought out the balloons and shit after he did his little magic thing. Which, by the way, don't do magic in front of a bunch of little Mexican kids because they're fucking horrible. They were trying to, oh man, it was, all right, I gotta stop with all this racist stuff, but anyway, he brought out this balloon, the balloon maker, right? And he was like, who wants a sword? And then he's like, you want a sword? And that was all he could make. And he's like, some other kid asked him, he's like, oh, you want a dog? My swords kind of look like, or my dogs look like kind of swords. So every fucking thing you made.
This is the best party ever, dude.
Oh, it was fucking
And
great.
FYI, being around enough people, dating a lot of Latino women, I understand the rules. Just bring a bottle of tequila.
That's right,
And you're now family.
Yeah.
Don't bring the crap tequila. Just bring like 2 steps up from Cuervo, and you're family with everybody
That's
that night.
right.
You'll meet all the tios and tias, and you get all the food. It's perfect. Love it.
So anyway, for everybody listening, dude, if you don't got Mexican friends, get some. Go to a Mexican fucking party. You'll have the time of your life. Be careful though. Drinking with Mexicans is scary. It's you can get alcohol poisoning really easy. I've seen that happen. Anyway,
so much fun.
That's my weekend story. Like, you know, all like this show is like all professional and shit. Anyway, you guys, thanks for everybody that's been tuning in. The show is now on its 3rd year. Everybody knows, hopefully by now, that the reason I do this show is for the love of rock and roll, right? And so I try to bring you guys the best bands around. And if you listened to the show last week, we started playing some bands from First Off Records, brand new record label that yours truly is going to be working with on a personal level, like not just playing the bands on the show. I mean, I'm doing that anyway, but I'm going to personally have some involvement with some talent scouting, some bookings. You know, I don't even know what I'm going to do yet, but we'll figure this shit out. Anyway, first band off the album, First Off Records, are here in studio. Let me get everybody's mics ready to go. And ladies and gentlemen, this first band is called Southpaw. I get a lot of echo.
One second. What's something's wrong with yours?
Yeah, no, what happened?
Yeah, you turn them on, and all of a sudden you go down.
That's right. I don't know. I think it's mic 2.
Huh.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
It's chaotic. Anyway.
Yeah, of course.
So how you guys doing, man?
Great.
Doing good.
Yeah, good. Real good.
All right. These guys are so excited to be. They won't stop talking. They're just
I can tell. Just running at the mouth.
bunch of chatterboxes in here.
That's
so,
right.
welcome to the station, guys. I know you guys have probably been here. You guys have been here like a year ago on Dutchie and Cat Show.
Yeah, I was.
All right.
Yeah.
So Dutchie now is not it's not an owner anymore, but he still does his shows here. And before we get to the band, I'm gonna introduce them, and we're gonna play their new album that's out. And thank you guys too for bringing all this stuff in. You know, they brought me some Southpaw stickers and some First Off Record stickers, which are going to be available too online. So you guys go check out First Off Records and Southpaw, and they got some cool T-shirts. I'm going to ask you guys about the name of the logo in a minute. But I want to do this since my brother Dutchie is not here in studio with us today. Him and the lovely Brenda from the Molotov Cocktail Hour here on Chaotic Radio are out seeing one of the best performers of all time, man. One of my favorite musicians. I finally got to see him after years and years. Finally, probably about a couple of years ago, and it's just I've always seen him live, you know, on the videos and stuff like that. But Alice Cooper is the shit. So no more Mr. Nice Guy.
I got a bad reputation, and I don't know why. I brush my hair, brush my teeth, I go to church, and I'm a really nice guy. Yeah. I used to be such a sweet, sweet thing till they got a hold of me. I'd open doors for little old ladies. I'd help the blind to see. I got no friends 'cause they read the papers. They can't be seen with me, and I'm feeling real shot down, and I'm feeling mean. No more Mr. Nice Guy. on the lake today. My dad caught my eye. Mom's been thrown out of the social circle, and Dad has to hide. I went to church incognito when everybody rose. The Reverend Smithy, he recognized me. He put me in the nose. He said, no more Mr. Nice Guy. No more Mr. B. No more Mr. Nice Guy. I'm sick, I'm a C. No more Mr. Nice Guy. No more Mr. B. No more Mr. Nice Guy. I'm sick, I'm a C.
Fucking Cooper, man. God damn. I saw him not too long ago, like I was saying, dude. It was one of the best shows ever. My wife was sitting there looking at me nerd out, singing along to every song. I love Alice Cooper, man. So anyway, let me get before I keep rambling on about myself. Let's talk to the band. Yeah, dude, be something's tripping out on this board, dude.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. Are you all the way up?
I'm all the way up, dude. It's just it's mic 2, man. Every time I turn mic 2 up, mine goes down or picks it up. So
Okay, who's on mic 2?
this gentleman right here.
Moving to mic 5.
All right. He's good for now.
Okay.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Just keep mic 2 on mute, so make sure you come through.
Okay. All right. Well, we got a caller already. All right, that's fast. So we don't get to introduce you guys yet because people are already calling in. You guys are popular, man. All right, B. All right, caller, you're on the air. This is the Black Lung Show.
All right, thanks. Fuck up.
Cool.
That was awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm happy they asked if they were on the air first to do that. So
Yeah. I haven't had that really, a lot. I've been wanting some of those calls, where people just talk shit. We had one drunk guy call in not too long ago. That was pretty fun. Anyway, why don't we go and do the intro? Oh shit, yeah, this mic is kind of fucked up. There we go. Why don't we go around the room, start at my left with Tyson, and just introduce yourself to the listening audience. Tell them who you are and what you play in the band.
They got to pick me first. Huh? Okay.
You just got to say your name, Tyson. That's all, man.
Well, I'm Tyson, and I'm the bass player.
Good job, dude.
Yeah.
I'm impressed, dude. That was.
I've been with these guys for about a year?
No,
Year and a half, maybe?
A couple of years now, I think.
Years, yeah.
Time's flying.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm Rob. I'm the guitar player, singer.
Okay.
I'm Yasha. I'm the drummer.
Yeah, that mic is there's some problem with that. We're gonna
I'm Yasha. I'm the drummer.
Gotcha. All right. So, how long? Well, I know it's not the original lineup. You let me know that when you saw the flyer. How long has Southpaw been a band?
It's been going now for, I think, close to 3 years. Maybe a little longer, but actually got it up and running. It's been close to 3 years now. So, and I've had quite a few lineup changes, but finally got a good lineup, with guys that can play real well and everybody that's on the same page.
Okay. And why don't we do this? We're gonna work on this microphone situation. Sometimes shit happens here at Kaotic, so I'm gonna spin some vinyl. That's what I love doing. I also gotta teach these girls what vinyl is when I get home. So this is one of my favorite albums. This is
Efficiency and
I think you know who
progress
this is.
is ours once
You're listening to
more.
Black Lung Show on Kaotic
Now that we have the neutron bomb, it's nice and quick and clean and get things done. Away with the sense and know me, but no less valued a property. The sense and war, but perfect sense at home. The sun beams down on a brand new day. No more railway tax to pay. It's like the Salem's gonna be flashing a light. God, this millions whisked away. you miss feeling right. Jane Fonda on the screen today. Convince the liberals it's okay. So let's get vested and so in the night. Oh, let's kill, 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 kill the poor. Kill, 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 kill the poor. Kill, 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 kill the poor tonight. Kill, 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 kill the poor. Kill, 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 kill the poor. Kill, 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 kill the poor tonight. The sparkle of champagne, the crime makes time to worry again. A life summary if you were feeling right. Jane Fonda on the screen today, convince the liberals it's okay. So let's get vested and so in the night. Oh, wait, kill, 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 kill the poor. Kill, 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 kill the poor. Kill, 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 kill the poor tonight. Kill, 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 kill the poor. Kill, 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 kill the poor. Kill, 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 kill the poor tonight. Kill, 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 kill the poor. Kill, 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 kill the poor. Kill, 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 kill the poor tonight.
We're back. We had some technical difficulties. See, that's the beauty though of having a punk rock show. Is that when shit fucks up, just play some punk rock and you can fix it while no one's looking. Except for everyone probably saw that on YouTube. Anyway, that's how shit goes. That's the same thing as like playing live, right? We were talking about that about your shows recently, and we'll get back to that. I get sidetracked real easy. All right, so let's try that again. You got your new mic. Let's see.
Hi.
Helps if I unmute it.
I'm Yasha. I play drums.
There we go. We got it. All right, guys. Welcome. Now we can
job.
start. Now we can start the fucking show. All right. So Southpaw, been around a couple of years, and you said how many lineups have you gone through?
Oh man, well, I think I've had 4 drummers, 3 bass players, and you know, it started off with just getting some friends together that I knew played to go in and record so I could hand things out to different musicians to see if I could pull people in to wanted to do this project with me.
Right.
And then, you know, and then from there I kind of got people that were wanting to do it, and then for one reason or another they had to bow out and things happened. But we've been a solid unit for close to 2 years now. That's 3.
That's
So,
cool, man.
Yeah.
Good job. Yeah, you know, I play in a band too, and in fact, gentleman sitting across from me played with me for a little bit. Tyson. A little bit. He left the band. He said we were. Yeah, he left the band. He said that we were ugly and we couldn't read good. So you know, I said, all right.
Yeah, I was trying to be nice.
Yeah, we're on hooked on phonics now. We're working on it. We got a new bass player. Everything's working out for us too. So it's good. It's good to see, man. There's no bad blood, brother. Just you know, it's weird. The punk rock's always like it's a community, right? So
Yeah.
somehow or another, we all know each other too. And I also know you. I want to talk to you about some old school days, dude. I know you were in Fighting Cause, and
Yeah.
we've all had member changes and stuff like that. So it's difficult. So it's very important finding the right people to play with. You know, my new band, my band, Something Ferocious, has been around for a few years now too, and we did the exact same thing. We're on our second drummer, 4th or 5th bass player, and then there's always been my downfall. Like bass players, always gone through them like toilet paper. But
Ass wipe.
that wasn't directed at Tyson. That wasn't directed at you, man. No, it's I'm gonna say like it's tough to find people, and sometimes people got to leave. It just it happens. It all depends. So anyway, I'll joke aside, Tyson. I love you, brother. Glad you're in here. Southpaw, where did you come up with the name, man?
I'm an old fight fan. Used to love boxing. I've been watching boxing since I was probably 11 or 12. And, I always liked the name Southpaw, and it always seemed like every time somebody fought somebody that was left-handed, they always lose. It was just the Southpaw jinx kind of thing. And yeah, I'm just an old school fight fan, so I just thought it'd be a cool name to have for a punk band.
Right on.
So,
and where did you guys come up with the logo?
I came up with that. That was kind of my fuck you to Greg Ginn from Black Flag, because
shots fired.
Yeah, I'm a huge Black Flag fan, but you know, when they got back, or they were going to get back together a few years back, you know, and he didn't want to be a part of it. I thought that was just kind of shitty on his part. You know, I don't know the, you know, all the details behind it, but it just seemed like it would have been really cool if he came out and played guitar and done that tour with Flag, you know, and they could have called it Black Flag instead of coming up with some bullshit, you know, wannabe Black Flag cover band after the fact they had gone out and were doing so well with it, you know. But,
yeah.
I mean, but hats off to what's his name from All and Descendants. I mean, he filled in and did a hell of a job on guitar. But it would have been really cool to see him playing with those guys again. And
yeah, I was upset when I saw that too. You know, they had the Black Flag thing, and then they had Flag, and Flag was
just so much better,
leaps and bounds better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everyone that went and saw them, and you know, and I won't say names here on the air because I don't know who's listening ever. But yeah, when I contacted somebody from the band to be on, they were just like, and this is an original. An old member of Black Flag, and I asked him to be on, and he's like, I don't want to talk about Black Flag. Like, that's how bad it got. And I was like, shit, dude, damn.
Yeah, and from what I heard, too, I mean, like, he had made all that money all those years because he owned the label.
Right.
And some of those guys didn't have a penny to their name, and, you know, and it was like a chance for them to go on tour and you know, and get some income and make some money. And, you know, I think it could have been 10 times bigger with him on the bill, and he wouldn't do it for whatever reason. It just, to me, it was just petty, but I don't know.
You're right. You know, I talk about the story all the time about my favorite punk band, the Misfits. You know, and I remember when they first got back together, I was shocked. You know, because they were, you know, suing each other and everything. And I think I read an interview where, you know, because that morning my wife was texting me and saying, you know, hey, the Misfits got back together. You know, and I was like, bullshit. Yeah, right? You know what I mean? It was like like the Eagles, right? Like the whole fucking hell freezes over shit, right? And I was like, no fucking way. And I saw an interview that said something along the lines of like, I think, and they had just got done with a lawsuit with Glenn Danzig and Jerry Only, and they were talking because they had seen that, I think it was because of David Bowie's passing, that they were like, you know what, we're getting old and we should just let some fucking bygones be bygones.
Yeah.
And you know they made a fucking pretty. Well, they're still doing it now. You know, it was supposed to be a one night only thing.
Yeah.
And I went to that first show, but anyway, all right. Well, that answers my question because you see, you know, for everybody listening, the reason why we're talking about that is because I was asking about the bars. You know, Black Flag's got the 4, and you guys got the 3.
Well, we're a 3-piece band, so I figured it fits.
That fits too. Now it would also fit too if you guys are all left-handed. Are you?
No.
No. God damn it! All right. You can hope, man. I can hope, man. Wouldn't that be a fucking novelty too, right?
Yeah, no shit.
Southpaw. Everybody's band is left-handed. I'm actually left-handed. And I'm not in the band. God damn it. Well, you're on the show. So all right. So what we're here to talk about is the new album. What's the new album? What's it called?
Disconnected.
Disconnected. All right. I'm going to ask you some questions about lyrics and stuff like that because that's what I'm always into. You know what I mean? It's funny too when you talk to other musicians, right? Like a bass player, and they're like, "Oh, I love those bass lines." That's what they're into, right? Well, me, since I write lyrics, you know, I'm really into lyrics. And so I want to ask you some questions about that. But first, you know, instead of rambling on, we need to play some music from the album, so this way people can get to know you guys, know who I'm talking to, and hear the band for the first time. Well, actually, I played Disconnected last week on the show because I was playing some of the First Off bands. But we're going to play it again because it's official now. You guys are here live in the studio. You're listening to the Black Lung Show. These are my guests, Southpaw. New album is called Disconnected. It's the first album that's coming out from First Off Records, which is blowing up, by the way. And we'll talk more about First Off Records here on the show. But B, if you would be such a gentleman, please, if you would play that first single. He's already on it, man. I love this guy. Here you guys go. Disconnected, Southpaw.
Out to disconnect the negative, looking inward to find a positive. Connection needs reconnection. Untangle and replace broken wire. Style is what is left for your heart. You can make a new start. Don't give up, don't give it away. Lock it up, I'll keep it safe. Affection slipping in the reflection. Compression turning to depression. Cold and bitter, chill cut deep. Leaving emptiness and repossession. Salvage what is left of your heart. You can make a new start. Don't give up, don't give it away. I'll lock it up, I'll keep it safe. Don't give up, don't give it away. I'll lock it up, I'll keep it safe. Don't give up, don't give it away. I'll lock it up, I'll keep it safe. Keep it safe.
That was Southpaw. The song is called "Disconnected" from the. I guess it would be a self-titled. Well, no, it's self-titled would be Southpaw. That's stupid. But "Disconnected" is the album, and that's
Disconnect.
Disconnect.
Disconnection is the name of the song.
Oh,
Disconnected
Disconnection.
is the name of the album. So it's a little
You're
different.
fucking with me, dude. You're
Yep.
fucking with me. Anyway, that's good. That's good stuff, man. And I heard too. Because I think a lot of the first off record bands are going to be recording over. Well, most of them are recording with Dave Klein over at the studio. Is that what you guys recorded?
No, we did it
shit.
with.
Well, there goes my information.
No, we recorded with Eddie Casillas from Voodoo Glow Skulls
All right, cool.
at Dog Run Studio.
Yeah. All right. Oh, the other bands that are coming out are doing that. That's what I think. It's at Dave Klein studio.
Yeah.
Yeah. My band, Some First, we just did our EP over there at Dog
Sweet.
Run. Yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, I heard he does really good stuff. So
Yeah. I haven't recorded with Dave, but he was also, I think, part of another show here on Chaotic. But anyway, so you guys just released the album. It's out now. Can people find it everywhere, like on Spotify and all that kind of stuff?
yeah, I believe so. It's on Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music, all those different platforms. I believe it's on.
All right.
So-
Disconnection.
This is the name of the song. Disconnected is the name of the album.
Okay.
So
I'm going to butcher that all. I'm going to do that all show long. All right. So a question. We were talking about this too. I always, every time I have a band in here, I like watching them listen to their own tracks and see. Because some people they'll take their headphones off and they're like, oh, I don't want to hear this shit anymore. and other people have the complete opposite reaction. You know, they'll listen to the headphones and we got a phone call. All right, let me finish this question real quick. But some people, I like looking and they're listening. And they got their eyes closed and they're rocking out to it, man. So how do you guys feel about listening? Do you guys listen to your own album when you're driving around?
Non-stop.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, good for you, man. You got to be proud of yourself. Anyway, so let's not make this caller wait too long. All right, caller, you're live on the air. I'm Ryan Pena. This is Southpaw. You're on the Black Lung Show.
Ryan, Lauren, what's up?
What's going on, Lauren?
Yo.
Nothing, man. I'm just watching the show. The guys are killing it.
They are. They're chatterboxes, man.
Yeah,
I can't get
I
them to
know.
shut up.
I know. I've got a guitar player. It's got the same problem.
So how are you doing, my friend? How come you're not
Oh,
here?
I'm tired. I'm tired. It's been a hell of a week.
Yeah, you've been working a lot, right?
Working and then the tweaking of the label a little bit and just the whole fucking 9 yards, man.
Yeah.
I wish I could have been down there today, but we had to reschedule rehearsal for the less offs yesterday, so I had some conflicts.
It's all right.
Yeah, we see who's more important.
I want to thank you too, by the way, for sending off all the first off stickers. Everything looks good, man. It looks the TVI. What is the TV holding the guys? Who drew the?
That's a woman behind a man, kind of like 50s kitsch kind of shit, with a TV head and an eyeball in it. I don't know. I thought it was pretty fucking
It's
cool.
very residential.
Yeah, who did it? Who did this artwork?
You know what? That is straight up off of the internet. Off
Oh,
of free fucking, yeah.
fuck yeah, thieving, man, right on.
Good job.
Anyway, I'm fucking with you, dude. I'm fucking with you, but
No, that's all right. That's all right. So the guys, Southpaw's material, just so they're out on Apple Music, Amazon, what else? Pandora, Spotify. Just about any place you can stream it, they're there, as well as they can get downloaded off of Bandcamp or off of the First Off website.
all right, cool. So first off, records. It's a brand new label. Let me talk to you for a second, and I'll get back to you guys in a second, right? Oh, I know they're
Man,
there's
so much to say.
They're so disappointed. So, hey, you're live on the air right now, man, and I never know who's listening. We've got listeners listening all over the world, and that's honest, the truth. And by the way, if you guys are, and I know who's listening in Texas. I know who's listening in New York. Victoria, in New York. I know Joy in Texas, and I know some people in Europe are listening. You guys are always listening to the show. You guys are always liking the post and sharing. From the bottom of my heart, man, thank you very much. I mean, that's why I do this shit. It's like, thanks for supporting Chaotic Radio. Thanks, yeah. Let's clap for the fucking fans, man. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for those diehard fans that like your posts, share your posts, actually give a shit that people actually show up to the shows, man. You guys are cooler than we are. That's fucking awesome. Thank you guys. So anyway, for everybody that's listening, on the phone is Lauren Shitbird. That's his name. That's his name, man. Right? We were talking about Mexican stuff earlier. That's pájaro de caca for all my bilingual friends. I speak Spanish. So I'm bilateral. So anyway, Lauren, tell me why you decided. Well, I know why, but I want the listening audience to know why. Tell me why you decided to start First Off Records, because you're the one that did it, right? Well, obviously, yeah.
I had a partner involved. He's not with the label anymore. He had some personal reasons. Basically, there isn't anything out here anymore. It doesn't feel like you've got the big players as far as record labels go. Fat Records and Epitaph and BYO and Side One Dummy, that kind of stuff.
Right.
But there just doesn't seem to be, like there was in the 90s, the homegrown record labels where the local band could catch a break.
No, you're right. And we're all older guys. We all remember Mystic Records and Dr. Strange, Dr. Dream, Dr. Strange. Yeah, all those labels. There was. You're right. There was a lot more. There was a lot more of that. Do you think that's attributed to the rise of the internet? You know what I mean? Do you think that's kind of killed off some of these record labels? And I'll tell a story too, real quick, Lauren. Just so you guys know too. When my first band, when I was in my first punk band in the '90s, I remember sending off a demo to and sending an email. I don't even. Well, was the internet still up there? I don't even know. I remember sending either an email or a mail to a independent label, and they told me. I said, "Hey, is there any chance we can get signed?" And he's like, "Nope. May I suggest breaking up?" And I was like, "Fuck!" Straight the fuck up. That was my first time dealing with a label. So true story. So when Lauren called me, and I don't even remember how it happened, was asking if I would help with the label. I said, "Sure, yeah." So you guys are already the first band live in studio from First Off Records, but I'll tell the listening audience that. Lauren's a good guy, and he's got good intentions. And I'm not going to speak for you anymore, but go ahead. Just finish off why you want to start the label.
So that was why, and I absolutely think that, they say video killed the radio star, and then internet seemed like it killed the punk rock scene in a lot of ways. But I think in a lot of ways it helped expand as well. It started putting the music and what you did with your music back into your own hands. You didn't have to have a lot of money to go into a studio. You could get GarageBand and record in your in your fucking living room
Right.
and mix your own shit. Everybody learning and coming up that way through the last 15 years, 20 years of this, it's gone a different direction. But I still think that there's room for the local homegrowns. The industry's changed. The whole landscape has changed for music and for punk rock music especially. So to stick with the old way doesn't make sense. You have to grow and evolve with the process. It doesn't mean you can't keep the community or the camaraderie or the spirit of what it was in the 90s. We just have to figure out a different way to do it.
Well said. Well said. And so, hey, here's a cool one, man, because this is the first time that I can remember on the show that I've actually had the band in studio and the label at the same time on the phone talking to us. And so here's going to be an interesting question, because I can talk to these guys and ask them all sorts of questions about their band. That's cool. But I'm going to ask you about the band. I'm going to let you talk about them. I want to know, Lauren, why you decided to pick this band to be your first band that you're putting out on First Off Records.
Well, the reality of it is they're the first band to get put out on First Off Records because they're the first band to have their shit ready to get put out. So that was calendar. That was their being further ahead on the curve. That's honesty. But the reason I started talking to Rob and I wanted to be involved with these guys is because I love the music. Now, a lot of the other bands on the label are more towards that 90s punk type feel. Mm-hmm. Southpaw has a totally different feel about them. My band is a little bit more up that alley, so to kind of keep it a little diverse, so we didn't have 10 bands or 5 bands or 3 bands that were just sounding the same. The energy, the passion, the lyrics, the whole 9 yards, these guys were something I wanted to put out. I wanted more people to hear than just what we were hearing in the local shows. So,
and then let me ask you this too, as well as not only hearing their music, have you had a chance, and for the listening audience too, Lauren also not only, it's kind of like the same thing. Like that's why we're talking right now. You know, the same thing. Like I play in a band, but I do this radio show. Lauren plays in a band, and he's got a record label, and we're all kind of teaming up and helping each other, like the old ways. You know, when we used to like help each other book shows and promote each other. That's what we're going for. But I'm gonna ask, as you guys were playing as the Less Offs, have you guys played shows together with Southpaw?
We have not. We were scheduled to play a show with Southpaw on St. Patrick's Day, and I don't know what the reason was, but they weren't able to play. Or did you? No, did you guys play that show, Robert?
I'm trying to remember. St. Patrick's Day. Where was it at?
We did St. Patty's we did 2 gigs that day, right? The one day was for Jerry O'Neill's thing, and then the other thing was a doll hat, right?
Did you guys make it? Because we ended up playing, my drummer at the time ended up getting there late. That was a fucking wreck of a show for us because we were playing as a 3-piece for the first time. Our other guitar player had quit the week before. I know there were a bunch of other bands on there, but like I said, I know we were both on that same bill, but we didn't. I don't think we played together.
No, I think we played and left, and then you guys got there later.
Yeah,
I think is what happened.
Yeah, I think
because we all had to work the next day and had to bail. So,
well, all right. Well, that's okay. With that being said, I think, not to. I don't like announcing stuff until shit's like really set in stone. You know what I mean? I hint at some stuff here and there, but I'm gonna tell you this, listening audience, check this shit out, man. B is the new owner. B is going to be doing a lot of great shit with Kaotic Radio. There's going to be a lot of changes. For everybody to listen to, I always forget to plug this too. Tell all your friends to download the app. It's a free app for Kaotic Radio. That way you can listen to the show a lot easier than trying to find it on the internet or stream it on YouTube. You can just have it right there in your hand. And some new changes for the app that I think are going to come out. I can say this shit, right, B? Well, I'm about to anyway.
Yeah, watch me stop you.
But we're gonna be doing a lot more of the app's gonna change, and you're gonna have your own choice of like certain styles that you can listen to. So a lot of the bands that have been on the Black Lung Show and Dutchie Show, 78 RPM, A Beautiful Disaster, maybe Greg's show too, the music show, because he does have some guests in there as well. We're gonna have the music streaming for 24/7, and you can listen to that unless there's a show on. There's going to be replays of all the shows of the Black Lung Show. There's going to be a lot of new stuff coming, and we're going to be we're going to be aiming to be like one of the best, no, the best fucking punk rock radio station around. You know what I mean? The world, you know, we are going to be the ones that not only talk to the legends, which makes me, you know, happy when I get them in the studio, but like you guys, you know, my friends, my colleagues, you know, the guys I grew up with, watching played with in bands, and we are gonna be doing the shit that, you know, that other label didn't do. We're not gonna be, well, I mean, I don't know, I shouldn't say that. It's some shitty bands and some music we might tell them. Might have to tell them no, but we're gonna be helping more people out, and we're gonna be promoting this, and it's gonna be all about unity. That's what the show's about, and that's what I think the label is about. You know, if I'm wrong, correct me, because I usually am about a lot of stuff. Go ahead, Lauren.
Oh no, you're right.
Right.
You're spot on.
Fuck yeah, I got one right. Yeah. You hear that, my fucking 5th grade teacher, you son of a bitch? I'm kidding. Anyway, well, so you got band practice right now. We got to play some more music, brother. I got to let people listen to Southpaw. You and I will be chatting later, I'm assuming.
Yes,
when I
sir.
get home. Make sure that you look, like I said, you know, nothing's set in stone, but one of the things that I'm going to make sure is that this is the home for punk rock and rock and roll band. I don't care if you're a punk rock or not, as long as you're a good band. We've got First Off Records has some other albums coming out, right? You want to drop some names? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, towards the end of September, beginning of October, Off the Wall's new record should be coming out. The Shoobies' new record should be coming out, and depending on the schedule of everything else, the new Les House record should be coming out.
And we still are working on this compilation, correct?
Yeah, the comp submissions, I think the end of this month, they should be finished up. That should be out sometime August, November, depending on how everything else goes with scheduling.
Yeah, we've got some big bands that have already emailed me and gotten back to us and said that they want to be part of the comp. Obviously, the First Off Record bands are going to be part of the comp. A lot of bands that have been on the Black Lung Show are going to be in the comp. Some other bands are going to be on the comp. It's going to be a cool thing. All you bands that are listening right now, if you want to submit music, you've got till August 31st, and submit wave files, or do we need to have wave files, MP3s, whatever the fuck. Just don't do the shit like look us up at Bandcamp and make us go work and do stuff. You know, we're tired. Send the shit straight to us, okay? That's it. Just send the fucking music. That's all you gotta do. I hate that shit. You know, hey, look at my website. No, I'm not gonna look at your website, dude. You know, you want to be in the comp. You know, we're gonna try to help you out. At least just send us the fucking music.
Like the old days.
Yeah, get off your ass and do a little bit of homework. They can go to the First Off Records webpage at firstoffrecords.com or the Facebook page. First Off Records, or the Instagram, and all the info is right there for you to send in tracks.
So it's really simple. Listen, info, INFO, not InfoWars like that crazy guy that talks about.
No Alex Jones bullshit.
Yeah, no Alex Jones fuckers. You know, no lizard people. Info at firstoffrecords.com. Okay, send your tracks there. If you can't figure that shit out, you send it to the Black Lung Show at yahoo.com. That way you can also get, you know, I can listen to you, and if I dig it, then we'll put you on the Black Lung Show as well. I should be saying that too. But you've got till August 31st, and I'm telling you, you want to be in this comp, you want to be involved with this record label. You know, Lauren, you know, I appreciate you, man. I like you a lot, and you know, I think what you're doing for the scene is great. You know, we need more people like you. I know you and me, we've had some talks. You know, starting a fucking record label is no joke, man. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's not fucking funny at all.
Yeah, right.
There's nothing funny about it.
But hey, look, man. You know, from me and the Black Lung Show, and B who's sitting right here is looking at me. We are going to help you out. We don't turn our backs on anybody, unless you're a Proud Boy. But I don't even know what those fuckers are anyway. I just hear the name and it just annoys the shit out of me. I don't know. They're probably. I told you I wasn't going to say that, but I fucking did again. But anyway, firstoffrecords.com, the Facebook, any other platforms you guys have?
No, right now that's taken up enough time to make me lose what fucking hair I've got left.
Fair enough.
You're
fair
doing
enough.
great.
Anyway, look, I will call you later, brother, and we'll work some stuff out, and we're gonna get this thing going. A lot of people are excited. You know, thanks to everybody, all the bands that have been, you know, liking the First Off Records page, and the bands are good. And you know, I wouldn't say that because, you know, obviously one of the first bands is here in the studio. Like I don't bring anybody into the studio They've got to be Black Lung Show approved. So First Off Records, Lauren, the Last Sauce, Southpaw, all Black Lung Show approved. Chaotic Radio approved. Anyway, Lauren, I got to let you go, brother. Have a good band practice. I'll talk to you later. We got to play more Southpaw music.
Yeah, real quick. These guys got a show coming up on August 17th. Or was that already passed? That already passed, yeah? No, that's coming up.
No, next week.
Yeah, that's next week.
That's next week, August 17th in Oceanside at the Oceanside Sports Bar. If you're down in that area, go fucking check them out. There's also some other stuff they got coming up. I won't take up too much more time. Go to the fucking Facebook page. You can find out all you need to know.
Good job, man.
Cool.
Yeah. All right,
All
Lauren.
right, guys, kill it. We'll
See
talk
you, Lauren.
soon.
See you, Lauren.
All right, guys, we've been talking a lot. We need to play some more music. So you guys are the DJ today. Your new album. Which song do you want people to hear next?
Let's go to Stagger.
All right.
It's a 13 track.
Lucky number 13. I love
Yeah.
that. You're listening to the Black Lung Show on the world famous chaoticradio.com. Here you go, people. Once again, here's Southpaw.
Take the heart, take the soul. Take the marrow from the bone. Take the poison from the rain. Pull the needle from the vein. Be alright, be okay, let it fade away. Be alright, be okay, let it fade today. Things said were so fucked up. These other kids, they don't give a fuck. Things said were so fucked up. This other kid, he don't give a fuck. Be alright, be okay, let it fade away. Be alright, be okay, let it fade today.
You have the spirit to fight back, but the good sense to control it. Your eyes are full of hate. 41. That's good. Hate keeps a man alive. It gives him strength, 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 strength.
was a fucking blitzkrieg of a song, man. Holy shit. That's badass. You know, again, and listening to that too, because I'll be honest with you, I listened to a couple of tracks and that was it. Because a lot of times when I have the bands on the show, I want to listen to the songs for the first time, experiencing them. You know, I don't like doing my homework. You know, I'm lazy. But when I listened to that, fuck, dude, Eddie did a great song. Did a great job capturing you guys.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
he's
yeah, and that was well, we were excluding a song off the we had 13 songs.
Yeah,
we excluded one of them, and then we had to go in and record that one really quick, just to get it on there.
I still wanted to put 13 songs on the CD. We had a cover that we thought we might run into some issues with, and so talking with Lauren, we figured that maybe it was best just to maybe give it away as a free download. We did a Johnny Cash cover.
Oh, which one?
It was Folsom Prison.
Oh, nice.
And so we had written this song and practiced it and hadn't recorded it. And I said, well, let's just get in there real quick and get it on the CD. So that way, if we have to yank this other song, we still got 13 songs on there.
No shit.
So.
All right. Well, I was going to ask you because I was listening to it, right? And man, as a 3-piece, dude, that sounded really big and really full. I mean, you captured a lot of stuff. How long did it take you guys to record that?
The whole album or just that song?
No, the whole album.
Oh, Yash over there did his drum tracks in 3.5 hours.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly first passes. Me and Tyson.
One take,
yeah. These guys don't fuck around.
First off records, first take. Yeah, see, it all fits together. That makes sense.
And then, you know, it probably took total, I'm going to guess, maybe 16, 18 hours total. I mean, we came in and did, you know, I mean, they did their thing, and then I came in and laid guitar tracks down afterwards, and then vocals, and then we took some time off and just listened to everything, make sure everything was good.
Right.
Then I'd go back to Eddie, we'd fix whatever we wanted to fix, and then go in and put vocals down, and then he was mixing it, and I go back and listen to it for a week or two, and then come back and say, no, I want this higher or that lower, and you know, and just, you know. But overall, just the meat and potatoes of it, it wasn't very long. It was maybe, you know, less than 24 hours to record the whole thing.
No, that's super impressive. You know, with us, it took us, you know, a good 8 hours to do 4 songs, you know, and then go back, you know, and mix and master. Yeah, that's true. We are coming up on the end of the first hour. Yes. Wow. See how quick that went? Look at that. You guys having a good time? You guys all right?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, cool. We're going to play some more songs from the album. I'm going to talk to these guys. We're going to get some in-depth personal questions. I'm kidding. We're not going to do any of that shit. We're going to keep it simple. We're going to keep it light.
I'm a Proud Boy motherfucker.
I don't know why I'm so hooked on that.
Right next to you.
I don't know why I'm so hooked on that shit. You know, I don't know.
You better not be Antifa, son.
Oh, man. This is a fucking crazy world that we're
I'm just
living.
messing with you.
I know. It's all right, man. So, B, you were looking at me when we were talking about the Johnny Cash cover. Do you have that too?
Already ready.
Yeah. Why don't we do that? We'll play that song. We'll go into a break. We're gonna play some commercials because we're trying to keep the station open. You know, Southpaw is my guest here. My main man B's here, holding it down here as an engineer. Look, he's already ready. I love B being here. We'll be right back after these commercial messages with Southpaw. Yeah, motherfuckers.
I hear that train a-coming, it's coming round the bend. I ain't seen daylight since I don't know when. I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, time keeps dragging on. I hear that train whistle blowing, down to San Antone. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy, don't you ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. I hear that lonesome whistle, I hang my head and cry. fake cigars. Well, I know I had it coming. No, I can't be free. I hear those people moving. That's what tortures me. If that railroad station, if that railroad car was mine, think I'd move it a little further down the line. Far from Folsom Prison, that's where I'd want to stay. I'd let that lonesome whistle blow my blues away.
That's hilarious.
We don't have any like good music, and anyway, I'm gonna. Oh, that's not good.
What's up?
Lauren just texted me and said fucking Kyle just locked him out of the Instagram. I don't know if you heard about any of this shit that's been going on.
Yeah, I kind of heard.
Yeah, I mean
That sucks, man.
me and that dude got into it the other night, and anyway.
Yeah, Lauren was telling me a little bit about it.
Is this a 1 hour?
2 hours.
Oh, 2 hours. Okay. You all right?
Yeah.
There's bad radio, good radio, and chaotic radio. In that order.
The Black Lung. The Black Lung Show. 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 And starting fucking now. Anchored to a fixer of a drain. Sport is big, never gonna be a boat now. Thirsty, sees the sea from high and ice plant. He keeps patching and keeps painting, thinking about his pension plan. But the boat is out to pasture. Sims never had a chance. Wanna be a boat, wanna learn to swim, learn to float, begin again. Wanna be a boat, wanna learn to swim, learn to float, begin again, begin again. Boat remembers carpenter's shorthand, missing fishy flutter on its rudder, sold at auction on a dolly ever since. Sometimes rainy days drop boyish wonder. He keeps patching and keeps painting, thinking about his pension plan. But the boat is out to pasture. Seems I never had a chance. Wanna be a boat, wanna learn to swim, learn to float, begin again. Wanna be a boat, wanna learn to swim, learn to float, begin again, begin again.
Welcome back to the Black Lung Show. We're live, hour number 2. You're listening to the world-famous chaoticradio.com, the premier punk rock station. I know there's a lot of other stations, too, that play punk rock. And look, more power to you. The more that we have, the merrier. You know what I mean? I always encourage the other bands to go on other shows, but you know what? You're not going to be in one as cool as this one. I'm just saying. That's just the bottom line. And right now, we got a really good band in studio. Southpaw, you were listening to some of their tracks. So let's get back to what I was going to say because, I've got ADD really bad. I was going to ask you about the lyrics and stuff like that. So I'm always curious with bands as far as lyrical content goes. What you write about, what's relevant to you. I mean, you've got, we played the Dead Kennedys earlier. I've always talked about, sometimes, especially in today's landscape with everything so fucking crazy and hectic, do you guys write about politics? Do you guys steer away from it? You guys, how do you approach writing songs for the band? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I don't write about politics at all. I stay clear of it. I hate fucking politics. Politicians are nothing but douchebags on both sides. They don't do shit for the people of this country anymore.
Well said.
I think they're just a big waste of fucking time. So why sing about them? I'd rather sing about maybe social issues or just personal experiences or things that I've seen people go through. Right. And try and put some kind of feeling or emotion behind it with a song and lyrics and so on. But it's just based off of everything I come up with. It's just based off personal experience or things I've seen other friends go through, and I just try to keep it simple. To me, lyrics are very important, so I always try to put some thought into it, and it's always the last thing that I can really come up with. I mean, chord progressions and coming up with songs and stuff is no problem, but putting that lyric to that song, I always wrestle with that. That's the hardest part for me.
Yeah. I find it the same way too. You know,
Yeah.
I'm lucky and blessed because I'm not talented. I don't play anything. I can write some good stuff, I think, and but I've also found. Tell me this is if you go through this thing too. Like there's certain times when I get together with my band and they'll play a badass song and I can just write lyrics and just flow through the song there.
Just comes to you.
Yeah, real quick. And then there's also another time like maybe you'll come up with a good chorus or a hook. And then you're stumped, and you're like, "Fuck,
what
dude!
the fuck do I say on that?"
You know, you're like, you got one verse, one chorus, and then like fucking 3 months later, you're like, "Oh, I finally got it." Does that happen to you
all
too?
the time? All the time. Yeah.
Good. It's not only just me. So when you guys write, I mean, are you the primary songwriter?
I am. Yeah.
Okay. So how did you meet it? Well, let me backtrack by asking this. I want to know some history about everybody in the band because I know everybody's been doing this for a long time. Starting on my left, where did you come from? What bands were you playing in other bands first before you joined this band?
Yeah, I've been playing for a long time, and the only band that any of you guys would know about is a band called Tribal Lust and the Horny Natives.
Oh shit! Oh
So-
yeah, dude. Yeah.
Steve Morris was their drummer from the early 90s until like 97 or 98, and then I was blessed enough to be, invited to play with them. So I've been playing with them since, the late 90s, and then whatever, there's an opportunity for the band to come back together to play a show or whatever, then we do it. But so then I do that. And then I play with a bunch of other bands in LA, but it's not bands you guys wouldn't have heard of.
Maybe. You never know.
So I played in a band called Shaft, a band called Muzzleloader. That's basically the same band, but we swapped out bass players. And now I play in a band. It's mostly a recording project called Uliaku, which is a 3-piece band. So it's me, the bass player, and then the singer from the band Shaft and Muzzleloader. Right. And then I play in a band with actually the original guys from Tribal Lust, Frank, Ruben, and Ryan, called Ditch Bushers. And it's very Southern rock blues influenced.
Wow.
So yeah, and that band's only done one show. We played with Green Jelly at MTL, and the guy at Green Jelly was all just coming all over himself about how wonderful we were and blah 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 blah. So that was our big introduction to the world.
I was mentioning this earlier on the show that the punk rock community is very tightly knit, and like we all know each other and stuff. And so it's funny hearing you say that. Before Something Ferocious became Something Ferocious, I was in a glam punk band, and we were transitioning from members again. We had a falling out, and Steve actually was playing drums for us. Yeah, for about a month.
Okay.
Yeah, things don't work out sometimes, and then and like I was mentioning on there, like Tyson came out and jammed with us for a little bit, and Tyson, I know you were, and you still are. You're still doing the Gutter Snipe Rebellion thing.
Yeah, and that started right about the same time that I went and jammed with you guys, and so I was kind of like, sort of wanted to throw all my efforts into the Gutter Snipe. So,
no, yeah, it's a great band. I love that band, and you know what I mean. And this is a great bass player, by the way, and I can actually tell you because I jammed with the guy. Really, really good bass player. You guys are really lucky to have this guy in your band.
Oh yeah.
And
I'm lucky to have both these guys.
Yeah.
Without these guys, it wouldn't sound nowhere near as good as it does.
Right, and so then my next question.
But you write great songs, so there we go.
And so besides Gutter, are you only just doing Gutter Snipe and Southpaw? Or are you doing
just the
anything
two.
else?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and a cool story, just so you guys know. I mean, this is how cool Tyson is, man. I remember when I don't know if I approached you or you approached me or something. I don't know how we started jamming the band, but I invited him to come check us out, and we were playing with the Zero Boys. And you drove all the way to fucking Hemet.
Yeah.
Yeah, he drove all the way to Hemet to see us, to check it out, right? And
Yeah. Took my boy out there, too.
Yeah,
my oldest
you
son.
did.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and you ever driven to Hemet? God damn.
I work out there.
Do you really?
Yeah,
God
San
bless
Jacinto.
you. Oh, my God, man. I know a lot of bands from Hemet, so I don't want to talk too much shit about that place, but god damn. I remember we were driving in the show, and there was like just... that's where scary white people live, That's the fucking truth. Have you ever been to Hemet?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, see? I'm telling you, man.
About 100 pounds ago, I used to read meters out there. So,
oh no shit, right?
yeah. you don't want to go.
Oh yeah. If there's a show there, I mean, go there. I mean, not gonna talk to him. I live in San Bernardino. What the fuck can I talk about? You know, I mean, Jesus Christ, you know, that's the fucking armpit of California. Oh, speaking of which, now worse than San Bernardino, and I'll probably get shot and murdered by the time I get home. Muscoy. It's like kind of like an offshoot of San Bernardino. Jesus Christ, that place was fucking crazy. You had to be fucking out of your mind to play there. And Robert used to play in Fighting Cause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can tell you a funny story about that.
So can I. Go ahead.
Okay. We were having band practice one night, and we used to practice at Cheapo's house. And I think he lived off like 5th or 9th Street down there somewhere. And I'm coming home. It's summertime. I'm coming home from practice. I'm all hot and sweaty. And I shaved my head. Like, I lost my hair when I was like in my early 20s, so I always just shaved my head. And I'm on the freeway coming home, and there's fucking lowrider pulls up beside me. And I'm like, whatever. And I got my truck window down. All of a sudden, I see a muzzle flash. I got shot at. I'm like, what the fuck? And I pulled real quick to the right, got off there. Luckily, there was an off-ramp right there. It was like Mill Street or whatever. I got off real quick and got on. But I was like, holy shit. I was like, it was like, man. Next time, I guess I got better wear that hat when I go home because they probably thought I was some skinhead racist or something. But, of course I'm not.
Right.
But I was like, wow. It was like first one and only time I've been shot at. And it was just like, it just freaked me out. But I didn't quit the band at that point. So I kept going. But.
So as we talk about that as different band members, right? So I want to share a couple. So B, I think you're gonna dig this too. This is what's fun for me, is especially when it's bands that I know and I've played with and stuff. So just so you guys know, I've talked about this a million times on the radio show. In the 80s, I was like a big metalhead until I finally got into punk rock. It's a big different transition. It went from the whole rock star thing, seeing bands like Kiss and shit on stage, and they're all fucking, prima donnas and stuff like that. You got security guard and guardrails, and you can't get on stage. And one of the very first punk shows I ever went to, swear to God, I think it was probably, and you were probably playing with them, in 94, was Fighting Cause at the Copacetic Cafe.
Yeah?
Yeah, and it was, let me ask you, do you remember this show? Because I still do. I still even have a 7-inch from the band that you were playing with. You guys were playing, and this is the weirdest shit story. Kids, if you're listening, back in the 90s, there was a thing called raves. And they were having a rave in the front room, and it was called Welcome to My Asylum Party. And in the back, there was punk bands. And back then, you would just go to a show just because it was only like $3 and it was something to do,
Yeah.
Better than a movie. And so me and all my friends show up, and we walk in the back, and then we saw you guys playing, and there was a band that you guys played with called Totem Pole.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at that show, and that was one of the very first times I saw you guys. So I tell you that story. I tell you the next story was I also saw you guys at a backyard party in Muscoy, and god damn was that shit violent as hell. I tripped over a gun in the pit. I got a beer bottle broken across my face. I had some guy grab me by my throat, and another guy grabbed me by my mohawk because I had one of those back then. I was cool, and actually it was your band that saved my life. And then gunshots rang out, and that was the last thing I remember. We all just ran.
Wow.
Yeah, trip out, right?
Yeah.
It's a small world. And Ron Tidwell, you were asking me too. Ron Tidwell ended up playing drums for me for a little while in a band called the Hostias. So anyway, it's all a big punk rock community. We've all been there and been in those bands together and seen each other. So it's cool to share these stories. So anyway, Southpaw's got this new album, First Off Records. I'll have them be the DJ again. What do you guys want to play? What do you guys want people to hear?
Dark Skies, maybe?
Yeah, we can do Dark Skies.
Slower one,
All right, before you play it, B, give us an intro. Tell me what Dark Skies are about. That sounds kind of deep.
Oh man, it's about about keeping a relationship together and just working through thick and thin of it, and and coming out on the other end, realizing that part of the lyric in the song is "Without your love, I'm not much at all," and it's just it's kind of I don't know if you've got like a significant other that you really, lean on a lot, or somebody, that supports you a lot. It's just about that in general. So, and it's, it's just personal experiences from mine and what I've seen other people go through. So I've kind of put that in a song.
Okay.
So,
all right, you guys are listening to the Black Lung Show again on the world famous chaoticradio.com. Once again, this is Southpaw, and the song is called Dark Skies. Take it away, B. Once again, Southpaw. You're listening to the Black Lung Show on chaoticradio.com. If you're watching live on YouTube, a couple things. During the commercial break, I guess we don't have commercials playing during the YouTube thing, so it's kind of blank. I just found that out. We don't do that, B? All right. So maybe I'll bring in like a puppy or something next time so you can have something to look at.
I'll fix something on that. I'll make something work in the future.
Yeah, it's good to know this kind of shit, right? And the one cool thing that I will say about this show over the years is that a lot of times, and this is like, even though you're watching it, you can't hear it because the mics are muted. We have these, I have a lot of great conversations with the bands as we're listening to the music, and some of the shit I'm like, fuck, I wish we would have talked about that on there, but I'm gonna do that right now. I was just asking Robert about lyrics, and he was just saying, I don't like describing it what the song's about because it should be for everybody, and I respect that. I like that. In fact, on the 3-year anniversary of the Black Lung Show, when we did our CD release, well, not CD because we don't have CDs, our EP release. My guitar player looked at me over too, like while we were playing. He's like, don't explain what the song's about because you should let it be for everybody. I'm just always curious because while it still means something to you, it always will mean something else to somebody else, no matter what. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, for example, right, like when I was going through a really bad breakup with after my first wife, I was with a young lady, and I was down and out, dude, real bad.
Yeah.
And the song that I would listen to over and over was "Fall Back Down" from Rancid, and just the lyrics just would used to pick me up.
Great fucking song.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean? I don't know what he wrote it about, and that's what I'm saying. So even if it did mean something to him, it can always mean something else to somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm with you, dude, on that, because a lot of times that's why I like explaining some of the songs. I want you to know like why I wrote it, but I'm always curious to hear about like what you think about the songs.
Yeah. I've got one song that I can really just straight out explain, and that is Striker. I wrote that for a friend of mine who passed away a couple of years back, and like you, he was in the metal when he was growing up, and then got into punk rock later on. And the guy was just a really cool guy. Known him all my life. Our parents were friends and were in the military together, and then just grew up with the guy. And later on, he got into punk rock, and I think he even worked for Rancid as a bodyguard. He was like a MMA guy. I guess he tried that on for a while. He was a big guy. He was just super sweet guy, but it's one of those guys. Once you pushed him over the line, look out, you got hell to pay.
Yeah.
But super cool guy, and he died unfortunately from what do you call it? Diabetes. So yeah, he ended up passing away a couple of years ago, which was sad. But I wrote Striker for him. So
okay.
So.
But again, it's the same thing too, like what we're talking about. If you're writing a song dedicated to someone that was passing away, I mean, somebody else might know somebody else that just lost somebody.
Yeah,
that's got the same kind of disease, and you can take that too. I mean, in fact, I'll admit this too on the air. And B, I'm sure you do this too. I'm sure you guys do this. If you guys are on social media, one, I hate social media for the fact that you see too much people arguing or. You see people arguing about politics back and forth.
Yeah.
It's like, fucking
people that are friends for 20 years and they're falling out over stupid fucking politics.
Exactly.
Bullshit.
But every once in a while, you get to see something really fucking cool. And maybe I'll have B, look this up. I don't remember the artist, man, but I saw just yesterday, dude, just the perfect example. There was this like R&B singer, and he was being interviewed by somebody, and he had done a cover of Changes by Black Sabbath.
Oh, I saw that.
Did you see that?
Yeah, that was amazing.
Right? B, if you can find that, dude, we should play that, dude. That shit is badass. But during the interview, he was saying the same thing. He was like, I never listened to Black Sabbath. And then his mom.
You mean Charles Bradley, right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, his mom passed away, and he didn't want to sing it. It was too hard for him emotionally, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then when he did, you know what I mean? And as I'm saying, a Black Sabbath song became, and not even, I don't know, I would even say it was R&B, like soul,
more soul, just
awesome.
From the gut, heartfelt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, no, it's good that, as musicians and artists, that we can write music that can translate into other people's lives, and that's a great story. So, you got it for you already found it, B? God, B is fucking fast.
FYI,
he's the man.
He passed away about 3 months ago.
What?
Charles Bradley passed away like 3 months ago.
Oh. Well,
but if you dig this, because he was at Coachella last year, so I saw him there. That was ridiculous. But if you dig this, he get his album. Should say all like this. It's great stuff.
So why don't we do this, B? Why don't we do this? Why don't we play back to back? We'll go with that song and let people hear that song, and maybe that'll mean something to them for any loved ones that they lost. And then we can play the again back to the punk rock with Striker. Yeah, I know you got it, B. B's fucking rad. I'm so glad he's here. Chaotic Radio, First Off Records, Southpaw. Here you go, people. It's for everybody, all of you.
together, we found a way. But soon the world had its evil way. My heart was blinded, love went astray. I'm going through changes. I'm going through changes. Oh, in my life. Oh, it took so long to realize I can still hear her last goodbye. And now all my days are filled with tears. Wish I could go back and change these years. I'm going through changes. I'm going through changes. Oh, it's so bad. In my life, it's gotta be a change. In my life, oh, these little changes in my life, it hurts so bad. Somebody gotta help.
God damn, man. That shit is. Let's pick it back up. Southpaw!
Strike up the band, let the angels sing. You're going home, you're going home. Don't cry for him, he's going where the streets are made of gold. There's no pain, no sorrow. Strike up the band, let the angels sing. Strike up the band, let the angels sing. Strike up the band, you're going home. Home, home. You're going home, you're going home. I will never forget you. I'll remember you till the end of time. And it cuts me up, and it cuts me down, and it brings me to my knees. And it'll cut you up, and it'll cut you down. It will make you scream mercy, mercy. All the laughter and the tears, all the good times. I will never forget you, I will never forget you. I'll remember you till the end of time. And it cuts me up, and it cuts me down, and it brings me to my knees. And it'll cut you up, and it'll cut you down. It will make you scream mercy, mercy.
We are getting deep on the Black Lung Show. Seriously, man. B fucking hey, dude, goddamn, dude, you did a great job, man. I'm so glad you're fucking here, brother.
You're welcome, sir. I'm here for you, Ryan. Here for you.
I know you are, man. But check it out. Give it up for B, man. Fuck him.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Fucking B is a shit.
Okay, guys, you gotta stop at like 5 or 10 more minutes, okay?
So what a crazy transition, you know. I was just thinking, you know, as we were talking about that, about listening to music. I do this exact same thing with my own band. I'm not gonna lie. You know, you listen to your own stuff. You close your eyes. You think about what you could do different. When you record it, you hear it. And sometimes, you know, I've been in a lot of bands over the last 20-something years, and it's good to be proud about what you do, and it's good to feel emotion with those songs. So I think that was a really crazy transition because that's the first time that I've done that with a band in studio where I was actually just, you know, listening and closing my eyes. You know, I'm not bullshit because you see me on YouTube. Those songs back to back, that's what we're talking about. It can mean something to you. I'm sorry, B. What was the singer's name?
Charles Bradley.
Charles Bradley. Charles Bradley, when he was doing that interview, was talking about his mom. You know what I mean? And he didn't want to do that. And that was personal to him, but you listen to that song, it could be something, it can be for somebody else, right? And when I listen to your song, man, that song was fucking badass. And you wrote it for somebody specific, but anybody else can take that, you know?
Yeah.
If you listen to the Black Lung Show, for all you guys that are tuning in right now, and thanks, we're going to be wrapping up the show pretty soon. Every time that one of my heroes have fallen, or friends, over the years, whether it be Lemmy from Motorhead, David Bowie, fuck, I even was sad when Prince died. I don't give a shit. Prince was a bad motherfucker.
Joe Strummer.
Yeah. Joe Strummer, right? Like, all, you know, fuck, dude. I remember where I was when Joey Ramone died. Dude, I remember shedding a tear. And so if you listen to this show, like during those times, even when the singer from Uniform Choice died, you know, like
I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't know? Oh, sorry.
Oh.
It's been a little while. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he passed away. Yeah.
I saw those guys play. God, had to have been like 1987 with 7 Seconds, I think it was, and they fucking stole the show. They were amazing.
Yeah. Uniform Choice was
before they tried to do the metal
weird
thing they were doing. I don't know,
but what I was saying is that if you listen to the show, like when those people died, you know, and then I start the show off, I would be like, damn, you know, I want to play tribute to them. But I would always play was Curse of a Fallen Soul by Dropkick Murphys. I think I'm going to play that song now.
That sounds good.
The next time that we lose one of our brothers, you know what I mean? All right. It's been fun, man. We've got some time left, but not too much. So I want to make sure that we plug you guys. The new album's out now. It's on First Off Records. I know Lauren was talking about some of your shows. Tell me about your shows. Plug them right now. Where can people go see you guys? And remember, because we're gonna be doing replays. I think we should use like a preface, or I'll do like an intro before the shows get re-aired about the dates. So people don't get all confused and call in. What is today? The 12th, August 12th.
Yeah,
August 12th. Okay, so this weekend coming up, you guys are gonna be in Oceanside, right?
Yep.
Correct.
All right, where are you guys playing?
Oceanside Sports Bar is the name of the place we're playing.
All right, who are you playing with?
Oh, that's a good question. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'd have to look at the flyer.
80s TV band?
Yeah, they do all
yeah.
80s
The
covers.
80s covers are
80s
fucking
covers.
phenomenal.
Covers TV
Yeah,
theme
they're
shows.
great.
Theme show songs.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it's pretty good stuff.
They're great.
Have you played with them before?
Yeah, one other time out there.
So let me get B. Come on, let's play a game. Me and you. Let's guess, and you guys tell me if they play them. The theme song for the A Team. Did they do that?
Yep.
I think
Yeah, they did.
All right, B. Your turn.
Theme song to The Facts of Life.
Yes.
Really? Yeah. Good job. All right, the Golden Girls.
I'm not sure.
I just watched
Charles
them on
in
YouTube.
Charge.
Charles in Charge. Yeah.
Did Magnum PI? I think they started
Yeah.
off.
Did they do that?
Yeah,
Do that?
That was my favorite. So.
That's cool.
I'm trying to think of more like iconic ones. Bosom Buddies. Remember that? Told you it's an old guy radio right now. Anyway, all right. So you guys got that show coming up. If you don't remember the names of the bands, all right, look up Southpaw on Facebook and just Google that shit. Right. So Oceanside Sports Bar.
Yeah.
Bar, right?
All right. So that's what, Saturday night.
Yeah, and
All right.
then
Is it Saturday or
Friday.
no Friday night. Sorry,
Friday night.
Yeah.
17th.
And then what else do we got?
October 5th, right?
No, October 6th, we're going to do a record release
October
at
6th.
the Highbrow in Upland. And
Cool.
but we don't have, Les Offs are going to play with us. They've confirmed. And then we're going to ask a few other bands.
Let's chat after the show.
Sounds
We'll
good.
do that. Before we end up the show, I want to get to one thing that I usually do. It's called Show Some Love, right? So I've been doing the show for 3 years. I interview all the bands that I played with that are my heroes. But we also want to give back. Same thing what we're talking about with the rec label. Who do you guys think, like say just bands that you guys have played with, even recently or not so recently that you think the listening audience should check out, and who do you think should be on the fucking Black Lung Show?
I got two bands for you.
All right.
I got one.
Lipstick Stains
Yeah.
and Standard and Poor, who are back in action.
That's right.
And they played a couple weekends ago and killed it. It was
Yeah.
great to see those guys playing again.
I'm going with the Soaring Blackbirds.
Soaring Blackbirds, yeah.
I've heard of
They're
them.
pretty badass.
I've
They're
heard of them.
awesome.
They're just pretty recent, right? They've played
Yeah.
maybe a handful of shows, but they're really good.
Okay.
Really good, yeah.
The Logs.
Oh yeah, the Logs.
Yeah.
There you go. Cool. We're talking about again. There's always stories, right? With everything. The very first Hostage show, when that band that I was in like maybe 2000, the very first show we did a show with them in Total Chaos, in Riverside. Fuck, I can't remember the name of the venue. Ah, well, it doesn't matter. But anyway, all right, cool. Is there anything else you guys want to plug? Because we do have another show, and I want to get the show done early today. What's that? Well, I got shit to do, B. There's things going on. I know, and I don't want to hear the show because the next show that's coming on is a sports show, and I don't know if you guys are sports fans, but I'm a Dodgers fan, and god damn those fucking Dodgers, fucking walk. What was that shit about today? I don't know if you guys are sports fans or not.
I'm saving it for the show.
All right, see, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to get into that. Anything else you guys want to plug? Anything else you want to say? What else do you guys want to tell anybody that doesn't know who Southpaw is? If you want to,
We're just three old guys that still enjoy playing punk rock, and we're doing this for fun and just having a great time doing it. And hopefully, we're writing songs that people will dig and want to come out and see us play and have a beer with us. So
nice.
What he said.
Do we have what time to play one more song really quick?
Oh no, we're gonna play one more song for sure.
Oh, okay.
I'm just asking if there's anything else you want. If there's something you want to get off your chest.
No, I better.
It's all right, dude.
Hey, and
That'd be
we're
2
very
hours.
very grateful to be here today. Thank you for
Absolutely.
having us, and very grateful to be on First Off Records. It's very cool that a label would look at 3 old guys like us and want to spend the time and energy to to put us out there. So that's really cool. I'm very appreciative of Lauren and everyone that's been working behind the scenes for us. So very cool. Thank you.
Cool, right on. And I know, Tyson, you got your son is you have kids. Do you guys have kids too?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do any of your kids play?
Yes.
Fucking video games.
Well, no. I asked that too because it's a funny story. It's like punk rock I've thought is kind of like a rebellion, right? When I talk about me being Hispanic, it was a weird thing for me growing up because I do have a famous cousin, second cousin. Her name is Tishi Hinojosa, a very famous Tejano singer, and I remember getting a lot of grief for playing punk rock, and it wasn't until like I saw bands like Manic Hispanic and the Cadillac Tramps,
Yeah.
and, you know what I mean, and even like Suicidal Tendencies that made me feel like this could also be part of our culture, and I was rebelling, I think, against the norms. You know what I mean? And what's funny is that my youngest son, who's now 16 years old, his first show was The Adolescents. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And now he's got I've set up his room and stuff. Well, mostly him because he knows more about it than I do. He's a hip hop artist.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like you got 2 punk rock parents. Are your kids interested in your music? Are they interested in punk rock? They want to play bands too, like their dads, or no?
I don't know about bands. I mean, both my kids are big into music. I mean, they just love it. But and they both play guitar. My youngest son, though, is like he just picked it up one day, and I mean, the dude's phenomenal. He's
Natural.
I just sit there and watch him, and it's just that I start melting. I mean, this guy's just awesome. So
That's rad.
I don't know if he's ever wants to play in a band or not, but I mean, I hope so because I mean he's really really good. But he's really into like classic rock and metal. He's like he loves Hendrix and all that stuff. So it's like he's
No, that's good. I
but
mean,
both of them are very like they're both big into music. Do they look at me and say, "Oh, that's you're cool"? No, but but they both love music, so that's cool. I'm happy about that.
I keep hoping my son will want to pick up the guitar, but I keep telling him, hey, let's I'm gonna teach you a few things. And he's like, yeah, sure, Dad. In a minute, let me finish this round of Fortnite, whatever he's playing.
I was gonna say, I've been hearing about that. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Yeah,
but
me either.
It's sucking
Some crazy ass game.
Yeah, sucking the life out of the youth. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I just remember we used to actually go outside. Right? I mean, that was the whole point of the beginning of the show when I was talking about that stuff. It's a whole different generation, and that's the fun part about this show is that, like today, like I'm not lying to you, like when I get home, I'm gonna break out the record player, and I'm not gonna show the girls, like what records are. They're like, what is this? And a fun story for you guys, real quick. And again, it's unless you listen to the show every single day, I'm not trying to sound like a broken record, but funny things is like, even like when us old guys were at work, right? And I remember being at work one time, and one of my coworkers, one of my employees actually, was asking me, he's like, "Oh, you playing you playing a band?" And he was asking me like, "What kind of music do you play?" I said, "Punk rock." And he said, like who? And I think about it for a second, and I was like, do I say the Misfits? Do I say Ramones? Do I say Black Flag? Do I say the stuff that I grew up listening to? Or do I try to reach out and say something that I think he might recognize? And I was like, well, I said, have you ever heard of Rancid? And he looked at me, and I was like, yeah, they were big in the 90s. Remember that shit when the 90s punk rock shit blew up? And they were on fucking Saturday Night Live, and they were all over the place. And he looked at me, and I was like, son of a bitch, you were born in the 90s, weren't you? Yeah. So,
Blink 182.
So my point is that I think this is not only a radio show where I'm showing love to local bands, but I'm showing I'm doing education. I'm glad that your kids are into Hendrix and like the old stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's way cool.
That's very, very cool. I mean, because one of the best times I ever had, and we'll do a replay. I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, dude, the fucking weirdos were in here, on air, and that's fucking. It's great to me,
Yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna end the show now. B, why don't you just play just a couple tracks back to back? This is Southpaw. Thank you guys for coming in the studio. Their new album's out now. They have merchandise. Oh, look, you told me about that. Look, everybody check it out. That's showing some love right there. I was talking about that show some love thing a minute ago. That's their Southpaw shirt, right, with the 3 bars. And then in the back, First Off Records proudly representing here on the back. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Right? So First Off Records, Black Lung Show, the main man B, Kaotic Radio, the greatest punk rock radio station on the fucking planet. Thank you guys. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
We'll
Thank you.
Here.
I don't care anymore, nothing but trouble. I don't hear you anymore, no, nothing but trouble. I won't hear you anymore, nothing but trouble. Gave you all that I had, now you got nothing. Rip it up, you don't need it. Tear it up, you won't feel it. Rip it up, don't believe it. Tear it up, don't you receive it. Nothing but trouble. I don't care anymore, no bitch. Nothing but trouble. I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. No, I don't care.
Not really. Just sounds like you're coming back at you. So talk where the arrow is. Microphone. See the arrow? Talk right there.
Right there?
Yeah.
Ball sack. Ball sack.
Do it again.
Ball sack.
Oh, I put mine on. That's why.
Try now.
Ball sack.
There it is.
Ball sack.
There you go. You can hear yourself, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I mean,
Can you hear me? No.
not through the headphones.
Oh, that's I'm down. I'm as low as possible. That's why.
There you go. There you go.
So, he's going to talk straight like this. You got to talk right in the side of that mic. I'll be in the back, and you'll hear me very clearly. So that'll be no problem. We're just going to have a fun time talking a little bit about sports. We will get mostly into fantasy for today. Guys, about an hour is what we need to put into it. Okay. Make this work.
What do I got to do there?
You don't do nothing. I already did everything.
The mute? You did already?
Yeah, it did. It's playing, so this FX is good. Should be unmuted. Boom, boom. Engineering screen.
I'm gonna pick AJ Green.
Okay, let's double check. Thanks again, Mike.
No problem, man.
I'm going to sit here more often.
Is that not normally your seat? Or
Yeah,
what?
it's not mine.
Oh, okay.
It's the Jew bastard that works with us. Thinks he's the lead. We got to take that away from him.
Well, I don't know anything. I watch. I mean, there's a podcast that like I watch on YouTube, and there's other ones that I listen to that are all usually football based.
Okay.
But and fantasy football related. But you know, I've only been doing this about 3 years.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not like, oh, that's guru or anything.
No, but
like
you
that.
know exactly the ins and outs of what you have to do.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, obviously, in the league that Bernard and I are in, I'm like the commissioner now.
Got it.
And then, you know, I'm starting another little one because I'm into fantasy football. My kids are into it, so they're like, we want to know because I'll listen to a podcast, you know, on the way, you know, picking them up from my mom's house to go home or whatever.
All right, guys.
All right.
Okay.
You're sounding good. Just remember, talk straight into the mic. We'll be on YouTube. That'll be up and running. We'll start off with the same theme song. Roy, we got like 3 minutes, okay?
Okay. The screen's going to stay like this here, or do I go out of that?
Don't have to worry about it. We're not getting a call.
I forgot my app.
Oh, I know, but to see it live.
See what? If you want to see it live, yeah, go to YouTube.
I'm glad I did my hair.
Oh, there it is. So
I'm gonna look fat in this shirt though, maybe.
let's see. Okay. Good. Is that us?
No, it should be
That's
the other
not
guy.
us.
We're not streaming yet.
Okay.
And I'll do the intro, okay?
All right.
Are you ready? You feeling good?
Yeah, man. The girls are gonna walk in right now too. They're with me.
Okay.
Gonna leave to.
Get the fuck out of here, you motherfucker!
Gotta drive.
Who the fuck is this?
Yes, bruv.
Gotta drive to San Diego. after
I'm
this.
Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC.
Shit.
What?
I gotta do some stuff over here.
Can we give the beard a Irishman's farewell?
Of course we can.
Hell yeah! Got a guy that just stopped doing the show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Auto lock never now. So I'm gonna look at this ADP stuff.
Okay, we'll do. You know what we do? We'll do a basic primer for fantasy football. So, Roy, you're going to ask us all the questions you ever asked, and we're going to figure out how to give people good picks and good advice for this year. Okay, guys.
I don't want to give out all my secrets, man.
No, don't give your secrets. Give out
I'm
some
trying,
things
I'm
that
trying,
make
to, I'm
sense.
trying to win this league.
Yeah, just
Advice.
advice that makes sense. But give me 30 seconds. Don't say nothing, please.
Chaotic Radio, because the rest is just a waste of time.
All right, everybody. How you guys doing tonight out there? It is Chaotic Sports on this Sunday afternoon. I am B, the host currently, because the Jew's out watching Pearl Jam, right?
Yes.
And
he is.
And we have CBA behind the mic.
I am back.
And we have our fantasy football expert, Mike, in here. How you doing, Mike?
I'm all right.
Good to hear, guys. So, as usual, this show's all about people who don't know much about sports talking about sports, which is amazing.
This is fantastic.
Right?
We're setting trends doing this.
We're setting trends. And we had somebody jump ship this week.
Yes. Can we do a farewell for him?
Yeah, I got to get the right song. Hold on one second. Just talk a little bit more. How's your week going?
Good. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to zoom out of here the minute we're done at 8 o'clock. I got to drive to San Diego to pick up my wife.
You do?
Yeah. So I gave her a gift to fly out to good old Mexico to go visit her grandma over the weekend. So, and because I'm a cheap bastard, the flight out of TJ is almost like $500 cheaper round trip out of every airport here in SoCal.
Really?
Yes, dude. I checked John Wayne. I checked LAX. I checked Ontario. Round trip was going to be $800 for the weekend. From the time, from the time frame that I was getting it. TJ, $300.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and it's just the drive down to Otay Mesa, and it's a bridge you cross over on. You go in, you buy your ticket across the bridge, and once you cross the bridge onto TJ side, you're in your terminals. So it's cake. You get down there, you cross, you're in your terminal. They got everything for you right there. It's fantastic.
I've been to San Diego a bunch of times, but me being Mexican, I've never been to TJ.
Oh,
yeah. So
you've never been to TJ, man?
That
never
is
been
fantastic.
to TJ.
You know what though? I lived in San Diego, and not once did I go.
Yeah,
I don't like going to TJ.
You go to TJ when you're under 21.
Yes,
it's the only reason to go to TJ.
Yeah.
my wife used to go all the time.
Yeah,
but
and then
she
now
lived out in San Diego too. So.
Now it's like our age. You want to go to like Rosarito and all the beach cities out there, get a nice little house on the beach side, and enjoy a weekend. But TJ, you got all the Marines and all those guys that are going in there and just causing havoc, man, havoc. And then the strip joints there, I really don't want to go in there because I never know if it's a female or a male.
Yeah, that'd be
scares
scary.
me.
I knew a guy that would that I used to work with. He would go down there as often as possible, and I mean he had these like it was kind of ghetto because he had these like Polaroids of like him with strippers in TJ, and he'd bring them to work and be like, "Hey, check this out. Look at like I'm the man over there," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, but
everybody's a man over there."
Yeah,
in TJ.
Yeah,
I walked into a strip joint one time with a couple of friends, and I felt hands touching me as I was walking because it was dark as hell. I mean, I could not see shit. There was only lights here and there from the DJ. I couldn't see anything, but I felt big ass hands touch my leg one time. And I said, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah.
I walked out. I'll catch you guys outside, man. I'm going to go to a bar or something. I ain't staying. So I walked out, went to a little bar down the street from the strip joint, stood there until these dirty bastards came out, and we were good to go.
Yeah.
Screw that, man. Screw that.
Well, that's good to know. So guys, I know, Mike, you're new, but we actually lost one of our members of our group, Kaotic Sports. So I'm going to play a little taps for him because he says it was because of work. I just want to say maybe he grew a vagina.
It's possible.
That, he shaved his beard, so that's probably part of the big reason why.
You don't shave the beard.
Right, he shaved. His name was the Beard. He shaved the beard, and he chooses not to come back to Kaotic Sports anymore. Yeah. The Beard, we miss you. Well, not much, but we still miss you. And I can't wait for you to come back for a guest host during the Clippers season when the Clippers come kick the shit out of the Lakers this year.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Oh, yes.
No, not going to happen.
I don't know.
No. The Lakers just got one new player. Now that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Well, they
I
got
don't know who
several-
this guy is.
And I'm
Several
not
new
even that
players.
excited about LeBron just because I think I've disliked LeBron for so long.
Yeah.
And it's like, it is a little different because the Lakers are my team.
Yeah.
But having him on there, it's almost an odd feeling.
Yeah,
So-
I can imagine how weird it is for huge Laker fans to have the guy that they hated for so long because he was just shutting everything down. It's understandable, but on the flip side, you got to see that this guy's just going to do some damage over here on the West Coast.
Yeah, and we got better last season compared to the previous 4.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Lakers are coming back up.
Yeah. The rebuilding process, it started this year. I mean, you guys are going to have a couple of years to go before you build a dynasty again. But
Hey, coming from the Clippers fan, yeah.
the Clippers got to make some major moves, though, man. Because how long did they have that? How long was that team together?
We were together for 4 years where we should have did something and we didn't do anything.
Did nothing exactly. So
Exactly.
We had some 50-win seasons, like 4 in a row, which was kind of amazing. It's the first time I've, as a Clipper fan, ever had hope that we're going to win more games than we lose.
Yeah,
and we did it. And last year we did it too. We were at 42-40. So
it seemed like you guys were gonna go to the show, but it just didn't happen. I don't know what the hell, how it fell apart. I mean, obviously the whole owner debacle. He caused some major damage, and I think that might have put a hurt into them. And then they started rebuilding with the new owner and doing all kinds of moves and stuff. But the players just couldn't pull it off. It was Chris Paul getting hurt. It was Blake falling apart at the end of the season, and it just wasn't helping them. They needed more bench, don't you think, B?
No, the Clippers needed a bench 1 year. That was the year we lost against the Rockets, where all our guys were just gassed out.
Yeah.
But I think what I'm doing right now is trusting the logo. The logo knows what he's doing.
Yes.
He's building a team from the outside and making sure we had the defense first. So he's the one that made the thing. He made it happen in Golden State. I'm just going to let him make it happen in L.A. And when we get our new arena, hopefully we'll be hanging up a banner that year.
Yeah.
But I can only dream. And again, being that guy, I'm okay with it.
Listen. There's a little player by the name of Zion Williams at Duke right now. And I seriously doubt he's going to go all 4 years at school. So hopefully he can make that move to bring that dude over here. Because if he takes him to the Clippers, that is going to be amazing to watch. B, have you seen him play?
No, I don't watch kids basketball.
It's kids. Yeah. Listen, you need to watch him. He's a mix of LeBron James and Charles Barkley put together. He's 6'7". He's about 200 and.
I don't watch kids basketball.
I've heard his name in ESPN, but I don't watch college that often either.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not asking you guys to watch college at all. You look him up only.
Can I do this for you?
Get the fuck out of here, you motherfucker!
When he ends up on your team, you'll be thanking me.
They drafted who? Who the fuck is this?
Yeah, that's fantastic. But they're gonna get their own arena, so it's gonna be fantastic.
Yes, I just wish it wasn't in Inglewood, to be real with you.
Listen, B, Inglewood is being rebuilt right now.
I understand Inglewood's being rebuilt, but I really wish we could have had an arena made. They're doing a game at the pond this year. The Lakers and Clippers doing a game at the pond for preseason.
Mm-hmm.
We should just went to the damn pond.
At least you're not the
But-
Los Angeles Clippers of Anaheim.
Wait
That
a minute, the
wouldn't happen.
pond.
Yeah, we're doing
Honda Center.
It's the pond.
Yeah.
Just like it's not the I Pay One Arena or whatever it is. It's Qualcomm. It's the Q. That's all it is. We're not giving these fancy stupid names to it. I'm not subscribing to. Is there any arena you actually call by the actual name?
Staples.
Because it's Staples. That's why. It was born Staples. It wasn't anything else.
Chicago Stadium, which is not even that anymore.
You and your Bulls fandom. I'm getting tired of this.
How dare you?
Yeah, I dare.
How dare you?
I dare. Well, hey, let's do one right now. Hey, Mike, I know you're brand new. Tell me a little bit about your sports fandom and what do you like the most? What are your teams? Who are you rooting for? What's happening?
Okay, I got obviously the Lakers, Dodgers, and Raider fan.
Oh,
always been a Raiders fan.
Oh,
I was a kid when they were out here in L.A. I got to see their last game out here in L.A.
Oh, really?
Against the Chiefs, in
Yes,
94.
bro.
Very nice.
And I was still a kid, and I didn't. I'm actually really glad about the move to
You
Vegas.
do. That's exactly what I was going to ask you right now.
Yeah, because I was only able to go up to Oakland.
Yeah.
One time I think since they moved back.
And there's nothing in Oakland for you to do.
Yeah,
you
no, it's all you do everything in San Francisco,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then you go to the game on Sunday in Oakland
and
I
get
mean,
out.
Yeah,
Get out
that's
as
it.
quickly as possible because Oakland is disgusting.
Yeah, it's kind of
Nothing pretty about it.
But
B, what you? Otherwise,
there's just good parts of Oakland.
Where and what is it called?
Downtown in Oakland, it's nice. They have a couple really nice bars and things.
Uh-huh.
The best part about the Oakland, that stadium is a bona fide shithole. It's nothing more. It is a bona fide shithole. I mean, I saw an Oakland A's game there, and I really was embarrassed that they actually were proud of that.
Yeah.
I'm happy for the Raiders being in Vegas because I'll be going like every month at least to a Raiders game.
But you're not even the only one. It's how many individuals are going to go watch football in Las Vegas, even if they're not Raider fans. They're going to go.
Oh yeah, I mean you're going to have every team in the NFL there eventually.
Well, look at the Golden Knights situation.
Yes,
they even talked about that the Golden Knights may have had an advantage because the rules state you had to be in Vegas the night before.
Yeah.
Before you go play a game.
Yeah.
So all those hockey teams are out there the night before. What do you do in Vegas? You're going to party.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you have any team that you were a fan of, it's probably a quick shot to fly to Vegas. Vegas trips are pretty cheap, so you get every other team's fans coming down anyway.
How much is this going to affect the possibility of the bullet train now with the Raiders out there?
If we haven't had it by now, I don't think we're ever getting a bullet train from
No?
Vegas to here. No.
You don't think so?
Unfortunately.
I think it'll make a big push because that's going to be a lot of money for people from the Bay Area going up there, a lot of LA people going up there, and it's going to be supremely easy to get into that train and just haul ass over there.
I think if we're getting a bullet train, Vegas has to pay for it. That's it.
They better.
But this is if we get one, Vegas has to pay for it. I just don't think we're gonna get one. If we do, it won't be like 2025.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still gonna be kind of young. 2025. We're gonna be able to move around, get on a train.
Oh yeah.
Right.
We're still just got the handicap spot.
That's it.
There you go.
I mean, as long as you didn't say 2055, then I'm screwed.
You know what they could do is just kind of, if they ever do something like that, they kind of put that in with your season pass.
That would be fantastic.
Season seats. You know.
I mean,
I got my $100 down already.
I know.
There's a bunch of buses that are going to be doing that, right? I'm assuming they're going to be.
Oh, there should be. If there isn't a bus company already having this planned out, there's some people losing money left and right.
Yeah.
Southwest should be painting a
damn plane.
Raiders colors to fly out of Ontario right now.
Yes.
Fly out of Ontario. You have 4 planes, one out of Ontario, one out of LA, one out of Burbank, and one out of Orange County, and then let them fly back and forth. That should be done.
Hey, I wouldn't be surprised San Diego. There's a lot of Raider fans out in San Diego as well.
There is.
I mean,
I
it's
thought we
like
all traveled
when
down to
you
San
used to
Diego.
go tailgate over there. It's like 50-50 when there's a Raider game.
Okay, another question, guys.
Yeah.
So since we know football's coming up, and we got 2 Raider fans. Oh, you're a Raider fan too, right?
No.
What's your team?
Chargers, if anything. But
Ew.
since they came up, I don't know. I lost faith.
You know, my wife
Yeah.
last year surprised me because she was a Chargers fan. That was her only flaw, is that she was a Chargers fan. And I met her. She's from San Diego, but
Okay.
they came out to L.A. and she's like, the only reason I like the Chargers
Because
is
they were out
in
there.
San Diego.
Exactly.
So she converted to the dark side.
Oh, really?
You know, last year surprised me.
Oh,
I mean, I got to get her a puppy.
unbelievable.
I got to get her a puppy, but
There you go.
that's worth it.
You got to compromise.
You know, yeah, we got to compromise. But
Fantastic.
yeah, so now my whole family,
All Raider fans.
Exactly.
Raider Nation from LA, though.
From L.A.
Yeah.
Eventually Vegas, man.
Yeah.
You know, so it's gonna be awesome.
That's fantastic. So, B, what else were you gonna throw at us?
Well, I know we're all Dodger fans.
Yes.
Yep.
those last 2 games, guys.
Did you hear?
That was heartbreaking. This
Dude, were you there? Did you hear yesterday's game, Roy?
No.
Oh my God.
same thing happened today.
Yeah, today was worse.
They fell apart.
No, yesterday didn't fall apart. Walker Buehler pitched the hell of a game. 7 scoreless innings. Our bullpen just decided to fuck everything up and then some.
Oh, my God.
We were up 2-0, bottom of the 9th.
Yeah.
They had 2 on, pitched out to him, walk-off home run.
Come on, man. That's just.
And then the same thing happened today. We were tied 3-3. We had come up. We were tied 3-3, and then they had a run in. So they beat us again today, and it was.
That's sad.
It's a walk-off walk.
Yeah.
Bases were loaded, threw 4
Dumb.
pitches, and they got a walk and won the game.
But I guess the only good news out this week from Dodgers, I'm assuming, is beer service to seats.
Really?
Yes.
So we get to pay $20 for having to bring a beer to us instead of us go get it for $20?
Well, I hope now. I mean, it's worth the goddamn service.
Dude, Mike, have you been to a Dodger game recently?
Oh man, no, not since 2010.
I'm telling you, dude.
Well, its pricing's still the same.
The pricing is the most horrible thing in the world. I mean, I'm a fan to drink at any sporting event, but holy shit, it's $18 for a beer.
Yeah,
$18 for beer. If you want a Michelada, $23, $24.
Yep.
It is the most gougiest shit I ever seen in my life for just the idea you want to get buzzed at a game.
And that's not even, I mean, mixed drinks wherever they do make them, right? Because those are like 20-something bucks.
Yeah, the mixed drinks are $25.
That's disgusting,
dude.
That is 2 drinks at any cheap bar.
No,
3?
3 drinks. At a
3
cheap bar.
drinks.
You know how much I can drink for $20 in my house?
I can drink a case of PBR at home.
And then have enough for a handle of Jack on the side. Yeah. So
it's disgusting. And I don't know if anybody's bringing it up to that entire marketing group there because
they don't have to. I mean, I was so this year I've been to 1 Dodger game and 2 Angel games.
Yeah.
Angels are not that bad on the price.
No, but they're still up there.
But they're still Angels.
Yeah, they're still up there, and they're still Angels. But, I mean, compared to the other stadiums that we've all been to, we are the most expensive, one of the most expensive, right, B? When we looked at it?
I'll check it. Check the numbers right now.
Yeah, I went to St. Louis, watched the Dodgers and Cardinals play, and the beers were, I got my tall boy for, I think, $8. I mean, I don't think I'm ever going to find a drink that cheap.
$8 for a tall boy.
For a tall boy.
I think when I was in Milwaukee this year,
yeah,
my beers, there was no beer above $9. Most were $5.
Yeah.
And outside before the game, they actually had a booth where you can get beers for $4 a piece.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
And I think I only paid that much for PBR because it was PBR and St. Louis. So all the other Budweisers and Bud Lights and all that other crap from them, I think they were like $6, $5.
Okay, I'm gonna give it to you right now.
Let's see. How is it?
I got a list. So, we're not number 1.
Oh, who's number 1?
Let me see. I think I'm right.
It's got to be New York.
New York is what I was thinking.
Or San Francisco.
Maybe.
New York Mets.
Yeah,
there it is.
New York Mets 10.5. What the hell? I'm trying. I gotta read this chart. This chart's weird.
Okay.
Let me get one that has like actual numbers because I know Dodgers is crazy.
Yeah. I've yet to go to a Frisco game, so I don't know what the pricing is there.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
But I haven't been in like 4 years.
But I'm pretty sure it's still the same.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like they change every year. That was the one. That was the one good thing that the Angels owner did, right? When he first took over, he lowered the prices on alcohol.
Okay, we got to go to Coors Field.
Okay.
So this one site I found is the least and most expensive stadiums for you to go visit and see a game.
Okay.
At Coors Field, 2 tickets, $20.
Oh wow.
2 hot dogs, $10. 2 beers, $6.
Get out of here, man.
Parking is $14. Parking is damn near more expensive than your ticket. This is the most ridiculous shit I ever read in my life.
$10.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I'm moving.
Oh.
I'm moving to Colorado.
SunTrust Park.
Yeah. Which one?
SunTrust Park. You can tell you who plays there. Do you know? Would you even think?
SunTrust?
Yeah.
SunTrust got to be Arizona.
No.
Who?
Mike?
I would say Miami.
No, it's Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Weird.
They're cheap as hell too.
There's no sun over there.
So 2 tickets for Atlanta, $12. 2 hot dogs, $13. 2 beers, $10.
Dude, come on.
We are getting screwed, guys.
Yeah, well, yeah, we are.
It's location, man.
Angel Stadium is the 3rd cheapest.
I mean, if they had a baseball team in Fresno, then it'd probably be like, you'd probably get.
They have a baseball team in Fresno.
I'm saying
$3.
It's the Tacos.
Yeah,
I'm not even lying. They're
MLB.
The minor league team in Fresno is the Tacos.
Get out of here, the Tacos.
And they are a minor league team of Houston.
Really?
And so I don't know the real name, but they
is that like the Quakes out in Rancho?
Yeah, they're just as bad.
Yeah.
So there's a whole bunch of teams that picked up Mexican names for them or Hispanic names for heritage. So like the Flying Chanclas and the
who the hell's the Flying Chanclas?
That's the New Mexico team, the Flying Chanclas. And so
that is fantastic.
So the one in Arizona, not the Houston affiliate in Fresno, became the Tacos.
Oh my god!
And so every Tuesday they have a taco off. Where they have 2 taco trucks in the yard and they fight to see who sells the most.
That is fantastic.
I'll find those guys too.
See, that's the kind of shit we're supposed to be doing over here, but we're not creative like this in LA.
Yeah.
Okay, Petco Park actually.
I think we don't have to be because it's LA.
It's LA. You walk outside of Dodger Stadium, you got a shitload of taco trucks and yeah, but still on site it makes it exciting. You know what I mean?
Oh, I agree with you.
The Viva Las Vegas, the Viva Los Dodgers. I did that event for a company that I worked for years back when they first started it. That was awesome because they had a bunch of vendors come out and you could walk up, get a bunch of free shit. And that's where they could have taken advantage and putting some food trucks out there and make some money, get people excited, go to the game. You don't have to fucking die paying for Dodger dogs and beer. Get it out there and have some fun, right? No, but I think it already died. I don't think they do it anymore. Because they weren't gaining they weren't having fans come out as much as they thought they were gonna do. I mean, we did shitty. I took a whole crap load of product and I went back with almost everything because nobody showed up. But because I don't know if it's that marketing group they have in there. It's just not doing a great job. But there's a lot of things happening in other stadiums that we just don't see happening over here. You see like the same old thing, bobblehead and towel night and backpack night. And I don't know, man. I mean, they do. What's the stadium that does the dog day where you bring your pooches to the stadium?
That's Petco Park in San Diego.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
You bring your dogs in.
I'm going to give you guys some of these names of these teams that are for the. It's called the Copa de something or other. So here's the names of the teams for the Mexican heritage. So we got the Everett Conquistadors, the Memphis Musica.
Nice.
The best one, the Brooklyn Jefes.
Nice. Do they have the images of the jerseys?
I got the hats right now in front of me.
Okay.
The Visalia Toros.
Very nice. Visalia. There ain't shit over there.
Yeah.
My God.
The San Jose Gigantes.
I bet you their field is just all dirt.
It's Visalia, man.
It's all dirt.
And the Stockton Caballeros.
Very nice.
And that's a couple of them. I'm trying to find. There's like now all the teams got it. We actually have one for.
And that was all Central California.
Yeah, we actually have the Quakes have one too.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, it's Mexico Copa branding.
Those hats got to be awesome.
The mariachis are for New Mexico.
Oh, my God.
And the Quakes are the what? I'm pulling it up right now.
The Quakes. So you've been to those games, B?
Okay, I don't know how to pronounce this.
What? Spell it.
Timbalores.
What?
Temblores.
Temblores.
What's the Temblores?
Quakes.
Oh.
Earthquake.
Oh, that's stupid. I want to be the Cucamonga Flying Chanclas.
That's cool. That is awesome. Now, is there a hand throwing the chancla, or is it just a
It's just
flying
a chancla in the air. It is amazing. If you've never seen a Flying Chancla logo, it's one of the best ones. It's a chancla with like speed lines on the back of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's a hat you have to own.
Yeah, that's fantastic. See, and that's what I'm talking about. Why don't the Dodgers do those Dodgers?
Don't they do Los Dodgers? I mean, you weren't here. Were you here last week? You weren't.
No.
You know we got a Los Clippers shirt from the Clippers last week, right?
I saw that.
The LA Clippers gave us 3 hats and 3 shirts to give away, and nobody called. So
are you kidding me?
Awesome. Yeah.
Nobody.
We gave away a couple of them on the Facebook. So, but yeah, we still got a couple of things to give away for next time.
I'm ashamed at all my listeners.
Yeah, all 3 of them.
All 3 of them.
That's great.
All 3 of you. You guys could have called like multiple times and just put your mom and your aunt and sister and brother, make us think that it was multiple colors. I mean, do that for us.
Maybe no one cares about the
Maybe
Clippers.
nobody did. Maybe. Oh,
See?
did you hear that, B?
That's maybe if it was Laker gear.
Yeah, maybe. Or a Bulls gear.
Yeah.
Because they're still carrying over from the 90s. Strong.
Yeah, because of that's our generation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
the
Clippers,
we're
not
parents
so
now,
much.
and we
I try to, tell the girls to be Bulls fans, but they're just not grasping to that. I don't know where I went wrong.
Some social media.
Social media.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it's damaging their brains.
Yeah.
It damages mine too, a lot.
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of things on social media I shouldn't be looking at.
bruv.
I've seen your Tumblr page before. That shit's disturbing. Oh well,
it is fantastic. So, we're gonna learn fantasy or what?
Yeah, you're going to ask Mike questions about fantasy football because you don't know anything about it, and Mike's going to give us some information on who we should be picking up, and may have somebody else come in the studio in maybe 10 more minutes to help out with this.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Yeah.
So since you're the only person in America who doesn't play fantasy football,
yes,
what do you think it is?
It's where you guys pretend to be coaches.
It's a little more than that. Because coaching, it's more owners is
ownership.
Yeah, ownership, like a team owner.
Okay.
And so ultimately, when we do the whole draft and everything else, and you pick out your players, and it evolves around actual NFL events. So
okay. And that's across the board, right? It's the same for fantasy baseball and fantasy basketball, but football's most.
Football is the biggest one.
The biggest one.
Okay. I would say fantasy football is the reason why NFL has grown so much in the past years.
Okay, and so I know that you guys do some draft that's major. Do you also do that? Like,
oh yeah. I mean,
guys...
every league is different. I mean, you can go like, for example, in my league of record. Oh shit. Good. I'm glad someone else was able to come in here. Scott, what's up, dude? Yeah. So you can do a variety of different drafts. So you like, for example, in my league of record, we do an offline draft, a live draft where everyone shows up, and we do it in person. But you can sign up on a league and do it online with complete strangers.
But I mean, when you're doing your whole league. Like you say, you're the commissioner of your league, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, when you're doing your thing, your league, do you get everybody together to do it at home somewhere or meet up and do that draft?
At my house, we set dates and I kind of get involved with that. I get everybody involved, and we try to pick. Everything's pretty open where we vote on some times and some dates and things like that, and I ultimately organize all of it.
Okay.
And then it's a lot more fun doing a live draft. So if you get the opportunity to do that and you can set it up, it's so much fun because you get everybody's reactions. Yeah. Because someone picks somebody and it's like, oh, I wanted that person.
They throw their soda and run out.
Yeah. Sometimes,
we
there's
drink
some
beer,
criers every now and then.
You drink beer. Sorry.
Bernard has cried once or twice,
So, you want to introduce our gentleman that just waltzed in?
Oh, no. I got you very well. First off, I don't know if everybody remembers me, Scott from Happy Hour Radio.
Nobody does.
Okay, perfect. Fuck you.
I just know you personally.
Second, I am the defending champion of your league.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I came down, because I'm like, no one gets to talk about the league unless we're talking about the champion here.
Interesting.
Side note, he says he votes on stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah, the kickers, every kick having 1 point now, that was not voted on. That was you.
So there's a dictatorship happening here.
Yeah, I feel
you
like
weren't at the league meeting is what it was.
I feel like it's a little bit of like Castro going on here. I mean, you look a little Cuban. I don't know what's going on.
It's fitting for today.
Yeah, there you go.
So now, fantasy football. Okay. Make me understand what the hell the purpose is.
Oh, it's the main purpose is fun. I mean, but I mean, that's what you're supposed to get out of it. It's supposed to be, just something it's a different way to watch football.
Okay.
So I haven't been doing it as long as a lot of other people have, but I found it to be like it totally changed my perspective on how to view football to where most people can have their team and they can root for their team.
Right.
But let's say there's a person. I mean, obviously, being a Raiders fan, there was a pretty long period where we were irrelevant.
Yeah.
And doing that, it's you can root for your own fantasy team, and it makes it the football season much more fun and bearable to watch as well, because if your team isn't doing any good, you have something else to look forward to,
or more unbearable, because then your team sucks and your fantasy team takes a shit, and then you're sitting there going, I'm watching 8 games and I hate all of them.
Well, my team's never taken a dump. So.
Well, that's not true.
I haven't won. But
yeah, I was going to say, that's not true, motherfucker. That's not true at all. No, it's weird in some ways, because you have your team, and maybe you'll watch your divisional games on a Sunday, so you'll watch your team. Like, let's say, for instance, I'm a Saints fan, so I'll watch the Saints, I'll watch the Falcons, and I'll watch the Panthers, mostly because I hate Cam Newton and I want to see him lose anyways, even if I wasn't a Saints fan. But then when you have your fantasy team, now every Sunday, I've got Sunday Ticket. I'm watching 8 games at once, morning and afternoon.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you're like, I didn't do a fucking thing today.
I didn't
pick up the backyard. I didn't do laundry.
I do it all on Saturday.
Shit, yeah.
I plan to not do anything.
Or alternately, if I have to leave the house, then I have it on Sirius Satellite in my car, and I'm not listening to anything else other than football all day.
You're just completely in touch with
You're
football.
so totally
nonstop.
immersed. You're so totally immersed.
That is nuts. But that's what fantasy is doing to you, right? You're completely.
Oh, it's taken over my life.
Yeah.
It does that.
Like, I listen to a year-round podcast,
but
as well.
And honestly,
about fantasy football.
And
Wow.
I think if you're someone who's like, I want to learn more about football, I want to get into the game more, fantasy is the best way to do that. Because when I started 15 years ago, I didn't know as much about football as I do now. And that's from fantasy. You start watching players and you're like, oh, okay. And then you'll start learning all the calls, learning the signals, learning the types of plays a team runs. And then, because you're looking for certain things that this is what I want to get in a player. Maybe I want a running back who won't score a lot of TDs, but he averages 110 yards a game. Right. And you start looking at those things and you learn more about the game.
Yeah, ultimately, fantasy football
is great.
Is a numbers game.
Like, honestly, guys, if you want to watch football, get your chick into fantasy.
Oh my God, yeah. But if you can do that, you're a master at this. If you can get your girl to do that.
Oh, my wife plays in our league too.
But you converted her to a Raider fan.
That too.
So you're
I'm
halfway
very
there.
persuasive. I'm very
She's not really converted. She's still like an on the fence Raider fan, because she doesn't really root. She's just like, oh darn, but she'll like still watch the Chargers and be like, motherfucker.
It's not that bad.
It was last season.
Overboard.
It was last season. Dude, we used to go over to your house and she was screaming at the computer while we were watching the Raiders game because she still wanted to see the Chargers.
When she was still a Chargers fan.
She's still
because the Raiders were
fan.
on my TV, and so she had to watch the Chargers on her laptop. That's why.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
and she's still like, even when she announced I'm gonna be a Raiders fan, it was a super depressing thing.
It did take
for her.
No, it wasn't.
It really was for her, because when she announced it, she's like, guys, I have something to say. I'm gonna be a Raiders fan.
It wasn't like that. At first, everybody thought that she was going to say she was pregnant, but then they kind of snapped out of that when they realized I didn't know either.
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, it can't be that, because if she's going to surprise him with that right now, So
I would have loved it.
I was pretty surprised.
So tell me and explain to me, to all our viewers here, what is it that you do when you're drafting? Are you putting a complete team together, or you're just putting players that are going to get you points on your team?
It depends on what type of league it is.
Yeah, there's a variety of ways you can it's all based off of your league rules for your
But the average league is pretty standard.
A standard league, you have a quarterback.
So let's say Yahoo Sports that does
just standard regular league.
Yeah.
You're putting together 2 complete teams. Basically.
Yeah. Ultimately, you have a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a flex spot, a tight end, a defense.
The flex spot's an option.
Flex spot is an option.
Flex spot's an option. So it's normally quarterback, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, tight end, kicker, defense.
Yeah,
and then the option
basically whoever's going to get you points, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
But the best of every position that you can draft, and then you have your bench, which is basically just mirror your starting lineup.
Got it.
It's smart to mirror your
but
starting
like
lineup.
later round players.
All right, so explain to me. You guys are saying that there's different leagues. There's leagues that actually just have power players in a league.
Oh yeah, you can have like a 2-quarterback league to where you're playing 2 quarterbacks every game.
Wow.
So you draft more
Wow.
quarterbacks, and they have more point value. So they're what's the word I'm looking for?
I have no idea.
They're more valuable.
Yeah.
Like as far as
more valuable as to how much money you're going to make on that league, or
well, not necessarily because you can.
As far as draft value.
As far as
is
draft
concerned.
value. Draft value is something totally
draft
different.
value gives you what in a fantasy league?
It's what draft value really is. Don't kick back like
I'm watching
that,
your ass, motherfucker. That's what I'm doing. I'm loving
Remember,
this.
we can watch this on YouTube later. This is going to be great.
Yeah, I hope people learn from this because I don't know shit about fantasy football. So
Seriously?
No, I don't do none of that.
Okay.
I joined the league almost like 15 years ago.
Okay.
But my buddy ran it for me. So I gave him the money.
Oh, and he ran your team.
He ran my team. He's
Oh,
like,
that's
hey,
perfect.
dude, you're
Did you
losing.
win?
No, I
Hey, dude,
lost.
you're losing.
Yeah, you knew what he did.
Oh yeah, he drafted like 3 kickers and like 1 quarterback. He's like, you don't need running backs. It's
Yeah,
fine.
you're a running back. You need a better defense than running back. Don't worry about that. We'll get 2 of those.
Oh
for you.
yeah.
That sucks.
No, but the hardest league of all is a PPR league.
Yeah, PPR.
That, I think that's the hard. And if it's PPR and it's
Points.
a faux money draft.
Right.
No, faux money draft.
Points per reception.
Yeah.
Points per reception.
Okay,
yeah.
got it. That's what I was going to ask.
Because then,
every time a wide receiver gets a throw and he catches it, if he catches it at 1 point,
Okay.
then he can get more points if he starts running up the field with it.
Okay. All right.
but for instance, like Antonio Brown, one of the best receivers in the NFL.
Okay.
Worst fucking wide receiver you can have in a PPR league because he doesn't catch 10, 12, 13 balls a game. He
you're
catches
looking at like
3 balls a game for 200 yards.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that's what he'll do.
They make him go for the long ball and that.
Exactly. Or he turns short plays into long plays, and he gets targeted a lot, but he gets double covered a lot. So he might catch 3 or 4 balls a game.
Who's a good receiver to put on your PPR then?
On a PPR league, you're gonna want slot guys like
Jarvis Landry,
Amendola. Amendola is always a good one. Those little short
The little
white guys,
yeah.
the little white guys that go over the middle a lot. Those are the dudes you want.
Like the Cowboys guy, the little guy that.
he's
yeah,
what
but
the hell's his name?
alternately, running backs are great for PPR
running backs
too.
are good.
Like running backs that play in the slot.
If they're running backs that can receive the ball, because there's guys like Jordan Howard that want to catch the ball, but they
cannot
don't
catch the ball.
Exactly.
Or you've got guys like, and I'm going back just to my team as an example, is like Kamara and Ingram.
Kamara,
They both are very big receiving backs.
Okay.
So not only are they going to get that, but they're also going to catch 5 and 6 balls a game, which just boosts their numbers through the roof.
So coming into this thing new, okay, myself, I'm going to join a league.
Oh God.
Which one are you guys suggesting to go for? Not a PPR league, right?
No, I wouldn't. I would go.
No,
just,
our league of record is standard.
with a flex. There's a couple of additions
but
here and there.
It's standard scoring is I guess what I should say.
Yeah.
Because it's a standard scoring.
But that's the type of league you're suggesting for some.
Are you joining with friends for
No,
money, or you
I'm
just
not going
want
to join. Let's just say I was to join, or our 3 listeners are going to join a fantasy.
The easiest one to set up, the one that's like almost where you could auto draft is that's going to be set up when you sign up at ESPN or Yahoo or whatever.
Yeah.
It's going to be a standard scoring league.
Okay.
Unless
and
you
that's what's getting you points by every player, right? Like your running back.
well, it's
your
based
quarterback.
off of yardage.
Okay.
Yeah, it's normally for quarterbacks, it's a point for every 25 yards, and then you get 6 for a touchdown.
Yeah.
That's
4.
Yeah, well,
it's 4 or 6.
It's normally 6, and then you can adjust it to higher or lower, and then wide receivers are 1 for every 10, and then you get a point for over 50 normally, and then it's 6 points for a touchdown, and then running backs
are 10
1
yards.
for 10 yards
1 for 10
rush,
yards, yeah.
and then anything over 25, I think is what it is.
Well, I mean,
25?
all of those are bonuses. Like
Yeah, they normally leave those in, and then you have to shut those down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's bonuses to everything. Like normally kickers, it's a point for every extra point, a point for field goal, 3 points for field goals, and then an extra point over 50, and therefore.
And now, so you guys basically invite friends to come and do this. They're not naturally going to be able to find you somewhere. Like, I'm meeting you today for the first time.
Right.
Would I be able to find your league anywhere?
No, I mean, at least the way I set it up, it's a private league.
For ours is a private, but you can actually just go on Yahoo and just say join a league, and there's just thousands and thousands of open leagues that people will create, and anybody can join for free. There's no money.
There's just learning how to
just
do
for
it.
the joy of playing fantasy. Like I do that. Like I'm in 2 leagues that are private leagues, like with my family and then with my second family, which are all of my friends. And then I'll join 3 or 4 just free leagues just to play.
You're a fantasy junkie.
I'm a fantasy junkie. I play anywhere between 4 and 6 leagues a year.
Yeah, see, I don't do that much because I try to. I mean, I have a family league, and then I have our League of Record league.
Yeah,
and then maybe I'll get into one online. And that's about it. But
is this normal for junkies to be doing like 6?
You'll start going over the top, and then I play DraftKings on top of that.
Yeah, when I first started playing, my first year of playing fantasy football, I only had the one league, and that's all I paid attention to because I didn't know. I didn't know exactly what I was doing.
Yeah,
but so I just wanted to concentrate on that league,
right?
And just see where I did good, where I messed up, and you can if you know what you're doing by the end of the, it's crazy because at the end of the season, from going from never playing fantasy to the end of the season, the entire NFL.
Yeah. Oh, dude, yeah.
It is
because
crazy.
You're just making
the
so
first
many moves, right?
The first year I did it, I knew almost nothing. And like, for instance, in a lot of leagues, you pay $1 a trade, $1 drop an ad.
Okay.
So you can drop a player, add a player from the bench, from the waiver wire, or you can trade people, and it's $1 for each one of those moves. I won that league my first year. I got 400 or 500 first place, but I spent 200 or 300 in moves and trades because you draft a team. But if you don't know a lot, you draft an okay team, and you have to start like dropping and adding, and then people are getting injured, and then like rookies become breakout stars mid-season, and you're like, I want those guys. And you start like
that's
going
a big point
crazy.
of fantasy football is like the draft is fun, and that's a good start, but you can't win.
That's your start.
Fantasy,
but that's your start.
I mean, you could lose your draft. I mean, you could lose your fantasy league at the draft, but you can't win it just by drafting those players and keeping those players. You have to get on the waiver wire and move people around. You got to see who's performing, who's not performing, and know when to drop somebody and when to pick someone up.
Unless you just take like a highly speculative bench. You know what I mean? If you do all that on the bench and you're just like, I'm going to take all of my risks and like all this stuff here. And then you kind of have the option of not really having to drop or add anybody.
Yeah, that's true.
That's cool, but it's there's so much strategy into it. But just as a general fantasy thing, just everyone's going to do the same thing. Draft your favorite players from your favorite team.
Yeah.
Take some other players that you like from around the league and just have fun with it. I mean,
yeah, a lot of people, when they're first getting into it, they play like the name game, so where people that they hear on ESPN or NFL.
I know who Tom Brady is. I'm going to add him. Yeah.
So, you want to look for sources all over the place to kind of get, because everybody has a different opinion. When I was first starting, I was listening to 4 different podcasts.
Wow.
And everyone had a different opinion, so it would be really cloudy as far as like what my decision was, and that's what I thought I was going to do is make my own decision out of all of these people's opinions.
Right.
And I was just confused. So, picking who you want to listen to and who you like and where you like to get your information from and kind of sticking with that I found that for me to help out.
Right.
To where I can kind of, I pick these people and I trust their opinion and you can use them to help, eventually you learn to make your own stats.
Yeah, right.
Once you learn players, you can kind of figure it out. Because every place has a different ranking. Like Yahoo has their top 200, and that's different from ESPN's top 200, and that's different from, Google's
NFL,
top 200, and that's different from the NFL's. But just like once you learn a little bit, like by mid-season, the next time you play fantasy, you can buy 4 or 5 lists and just look at them and kind of gather really quickly, like here's where my average ranking is going to be for this player. Like it's 1 here, it's 5 here,
well, they
it's
even
7
have
here.
stuff like that online.
Yeah, they have them all ranked.
Average draft position calculators, and that ultimately tells you where a certain player is going in what round of the draft and things like that, and that's where you get draft value from.
Okay,
and all of that is kind of. It depends on your own league because everybody's own league. If you're in like a casual league where, you know, like Scott was saying, where people draft their own, you know, their own team's players, and, you know, then you may alter from what all these experts are telling you, because it changes.
Yeah, it changes.
Like, for example, thing that I learned in my league.
Or people just go apeshit and do really weird things.
Yeah.
That's the fun part.
Let's pick it up right now. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll keep going with this apeshit fantasy league as we come back.
Okay.
All right, man.
Give me 2 minutes, you dick.
Are we back? What?
I texted him, but he didn't get it.
Yeah,
obviously.
but here, hey guys, give me 2 minutes of you talking about your worst draft mistake you made in a league. I'll get ready for a break.
Worst draft.
Worst draft.
I don't really have a mistake. I have played.
Yes, you did.
No.
3 years ago.
What did I do?
Todd Gurley in the first round, and he
that
bombed.
that wasn't a mistake. That was a solid draft at that time.
At that time, but it wasn't necessarily
it was a bust.
supposed to be.
It was a
bust.
draft bust.
Yes.
I've never made a mistake. Like, for instance, here's a great mistake. I was in a league with Garrett. He had the number 1 pick. You know who he took? Matt Hasselbeck.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He had Peyton Manning. He had Brett Favre right when he was just getting on the Vikings. He had, you know, Tom Brady, Roethlisberger, all of these things open. And by the way, Adrian Peterson was in his prime, could have taken AP.
Yeah.
Took Matt Hasselbeck. Guess where he came in the league?
Yeah.
Dead fucking last, man.
I think for me, I'm trying to think where I made a serious mistake.
Playing fantasy football is really the mistake.
No.
It just,
I have a lot
puts
of
you
fun.
in such a hole.
I had Matt Ryan a couple years ago with his MVP season.
Yeah, which is great.
And he performed really well. And I got him.
You kept him, didn't you?
I kept him, and I got him in like the 12th round, I want to say.
Yeah.
I waited on quarterback, and I watched. This is when we were drafting way like preseason week 2,
right? Which is a terrible idea.
Yeah, so that's why we postpone it to the end of the till your birthday. You know,
till my birthday. Yeah, that's great.
So, I drafted him, and then the preseason hype or lack of got me down on him. So I felt like pressured to have a backup. So I got Phillip Rivers as his backup. And I just kept not wanting to play Matt Ryan, and I would play Phillip Rivers over Matt Ryan. And Phillip Rivers was having a terrible year while Matt Ryan was having
an amazing
And this
year.
was like the first 4 games, and then I started playing Matt Ryan.
Well, you kind of have
but
to.
I was losing those early games. I probably could have won.
Because you didn't. Because you decided you wanted to play Phillip Rivers. And you know what? You made the same mistake the Chargers have for so many years.
That's true.
Kept them on board.
Kept it just
because that's
kept
one thing
playing
that's difficult about fantasy football. Because crossing those
off
those
of fantasy just for like 5 seconds. If you can't win a Super Bowl with LaDainian Tomlinson, Antonio Gates, like a sea of the best wide receivers in the NFL, you suck.
Hey, I've made the same argument to my wife.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah, but people still keep saying, oh, the Chargers are going to be great this year. And it's like, no, you have the worst coach in the NFL. Your quarterback is a giant crybaby Mormon baby having motherfucker. And like,
is he Mormon?
Yeah, he has like 10 kids.
That doesn't mean he's Mormon.
No, he is Mormon. He's
Is he
Mormon. Yeah,
really?
and he has like 10 kids.
My God.
I think he has 8.
But it doesn't really matter. His family is double digits between the kids, him and his wife.
Yes, that's
How
true.
does that sound? All right,
It
let's go with
sounds
that.
like
He's
a
building
headache.
his own football team.
There you go.
I hope he dies. I really do. I kind of hope he dies. He's
Whoever
never
said 8, they're right. And I'll give you the names.
There you go.
Gunnar, Grace, Peter, Sarah Catherine, Rebecca,
That's-
Haley, and Carolyn.
That's all Mormon names right there.
that's one that's all white people names. That's for
It is
damn
white people,
sure.
Yeah, well.
That's for damn sure. But
That is fantastic.
he sucks. God damn it.
B, why have you guys kept Rivers so long?
Are you a Chargers fan?
No,
No,
he's a
I'm
Raiders
a
fan.
Raider fan, sir.
So
Yeah.
you're
Well,
asking the wrong person.
you used to be a Buccaneers fan.
Yeah, that was a while ago, but
Yeah.
I'm a Raider fan.
Yeah.
I thought you were a Chargers fan. I
You're
don't know
full
why.
of shit and you know it. You're just trying to...
No, they're
Still-
I don't know why they kept him around. For some reason, they keep thinking that he's great, and they think they got rid of Breeze.
Yeah, I
for
know.
Phillip Rivers.
And after
That's right.
after
That's right.
Breeze got let go, that's when he went.
So excited
Yeah.
about that, by the way, because that saved my team because we sucked for so long until he came over. He's never had like a breakout year. He's been as good as Joe Flacco.
Oh,
No. As good as Joe Flacco was the year he won the Super Bowl. He's never been better than that.
yeah,
Like
I guess I
like
could see that.
4,200 yards, like 30-ish touchdowns, 10 interceptions. He's done that a few times.
All right, boys. I think now we're gonna go to break.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we'll continue fantasy league talk, and I still want to hear this bullshit stuff that jungle leagues, whatever you guys were talking about.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
All right, we'll be back in 5.
All right.
I love that song.
Can't explain all the feelings.
It's good. I figured it was your decoration.
I was like, oh, there's a bunch of Raider stuff. Can't explain all the feelings that you're making me feel.
you hear the fan on? I'm gonna leave it on because it's too hot in here.
One more hit. Sound like a fucking crack addict.
Okay, this long ass commercial is almost over in a minute and a half. So you guys can't hear me what I'm saying.
Don't like how uncomfortable they are.
So as soon as you put on headphones, I can talk to you.
I'm liking that the black chairs that made noises.
I'm happy that people on YouTube can see you guys do this and not listen to me because
Hold on,
there
I'm
it
coming
is.
back. I
Somebody has the headphones on. How nice.
What's up?
We start in a minute, okay?
All right.
Coming into Mr. Brightside with Killers. I will intro you guys in, and Roy, you just pepper them out the first question when you get at it, okay?
All right, man.
Peppering.
Peppering.
We're gonna play some pepper.
Peppering.
Like Pete Rose.
Give me 30 seconds all clear. You'll get the stinger. You'll get the stinger, Mr. Brightside, and I'll give you something to move off of, okay?
Stinger.
So tell me, Roy, your question is what should you draft first when you're doing this, okay?
Yeah.
Kicker.
You're listening to chaoticradio.com.
Coming out of my cage and I've been doing just fine. Gotta be down because I want it all. It started out with a kiss, how did it end up like this? It was only a kiss, it was only a kiss.
Welcome back to Chaotic Sports. How you guys doing out there? This is B in the booth, having fun with, looks like I got Roy, Mike, and Scotty talking fantasy football. So, wait, let's get that right.
There we go. That was a solid start.
Let's do it. Yeah, I know. I'm doing four things at once. But
What's chaotic?
Here's what I wanted.
Yo.
Are we on chaotic?
So
They drafted who?
There you go.
Who the fuck is this?
So we're back, and we're going to continue talking some fantasy football.
Get the fuck out of here, you motherfucker!
So that sounds like Chaz Palminteri, but it also, if you really just kind of phase out a little bit, like Vinny Jones. A little bit. Just a little bit.
Vinny Jones.
No, it's
Vinny Jones.
what's his name?
It's
Vinny Jones was...
Michael Rappaport.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Vinny Jones was a rugby player / footballer / now actor.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
All right, man. So
sounds good.
So I think the last time, just before the break, we were going in a you guys were talking about and I think what I want to know before we get into that jungle crap that you guys were talking about, ape shit leagues. What do you do for a rookie coming into a league, any league?
Okay.
What is the most important player to draft first?
Kicker.
Running back.
What?
No,
the
I'm
hell?
joking.
It's
not kicker.
it's dead. So there's varying theories on how you should draft first. Everybody has their own thing, but the general sort of law across the board is draft your running backs first. That's been the case for a while, especially back in the Sean Alexander, LT, Adrian Peterson in his prime days.
Mm-hmm.
So that and that's kind of what I still stick to. Even now, I still try to go running back first because the star running backs go away real fast.
The potential of the star power of players and their ability really has a almost like a cliff.
Right.
Yeah, it goes down very fast.
After the first maybe 24, 30 players of running backs, just that position, it takes a significant drop.
See, I was thinking quarterback.
So you can, but here's the thing though, is that the superstar quarterbacks aren't that much better than your tier 2 quarterbacks. They're not like crazy different. They have the potential for bigger games, but it's not that often, and it's not that big of a difference.
Okay, yeah, there's a chance that you could have your starting quarterbacks gets injured, and you can get somebody off of the waiver wire that'll just do just as well.
Like, yeah, I normally don't take a quarterback till 5th or 6th round.
Really?
Yeah, and because like last year, I won the league. I ended up with Tom Brady, 5th or 6th round.
Really?
Yeah, 5th or 6th round. And he didn't have an amazing year. He got me 15, 16 points a game. I think 1 week he had 20.
How does it work with the quarterback getting points? Every
a yard
they
per
throw?
25. A yard per 25.
Every 25
I mean,
yards
a point
is
per
1
25 yards.
25 yards gets you a point.
Yes.
25 yards
So
gets you
you
1
want-
point.
the
Touchdown gets
average
you
you
6.
want for
and then I think there's a bonus over 400. Or is it over 500?
I think it's over 500.
Okay, and then
he
if
has
you get over 500
yards.
points, which is very rare, not a lot of people do it, then you get an extra couple of points for that.
Okay, so the running back is going to initially get you points instantly.
Well, yeah, like for
your
instance,
top
like
rounds.
yeah, like for instance, here's the top 8 running backs right now. Like out of the top 8 running backs, really only 6 matter. Is what I would say, and then after that, they drop significantly as far as ability,
Yeah,
but they're still in the top 10.
There's
Like
tiers.
yeah.
Okay, so who are those guys?
Todd Gurley is number 1.
Lev Bell.
Right now. Le'Veon Bell, David Johnson on the Cardinals.
Zeke Elliott.
Zeke Elliott, I still think he's more,
I think he's gonna. I mean, he
I think
missed
he's
6
good.
games last year.
But he's good, but whatever. Then Saquon Barkley.
Saquon is
Yeah. Alvin Kamara, Kareem Hunt, and then here's where you drop a tier. Leonard Fournette.
James,
not that great.
Gordon from the
Gordon,
Chargers.
yeah, not that great. Okay though. Great. Yeah. Still good, but not epic.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And then who do you go to next from a running back?
I would go wide receivers. Yeah. Wide receivers or your really, really high tier tight ends.
Yeah, like I mean, if you're in the 2nd round, maybe the top of the 3rd round, grabbing Gronk would be because he's
getting Gronk is huge, or Kelsey is huge. Yeah. Or maybe your flyer. Maybe you go for like your really risky flyer that's like kind of unproven. Maybe
What's a flyer?
A guy who's back from injury, or he's a rookie, or like they're predicting this guy who's been a 2nd stringer. He's
You just
getting
don't know
promoted.
how he's going to play.
But they're saying he's going to have a big year. There's a lot
Usually
of.
you don't want to use
not a second round.
For me, I wouldn't want to use my top rounds on.
But
I
I would on like a 3rd or a 4th round. I would definitely go 3rd or 4th.
If they
round.
were in the NFL, and a rookie, you can take your chances with too.
If you want to, if they're like going to be a big
Like
rookie.
Saquon Barkley is the talk right now.
All right, so let's back up right now.
Okay.
Give me the lineup on how to pick my team.
It all depends on how you want to construct your roster.
I'm a new guy.
Okay, so I would say if I were to do start from scratch and you're just taking someone, taking a blueprint, I would say you could alternate between running back and wide receiver.
Okay.
Until you find a good value for a tight end, a good value, but you want to load up on wide receivers and running backs.
Okay.
As often as possible.
How many players typically do you draft for your team?
It really depends on how many is in your bench. But for example, for ours, it's usually 6 or 7.
Okay.
Ours is 7.
All right.
And
why 7?
7 what?
7 bench spots.
Yeah. So like for instance, right now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 9 players that are starting on the team.
Okay.
On the bench you have 7, and that makes it a little bit tougher on the draft because a lot of people just mirror what the starting lineup is. So it's really easy to just have a backup for every position.
Okay.
Whereas now you really have to look at what are my guys that are going to really last all season, and like, okay, so I'm going to only maybe have 1 backup wide receiver. Then I'm only going to have maybe 1 backup running back, but I want to have a couple of guys on the bench for the flex spot. I want to have one, you want to have 1 backup for every major position and then a few guys that you can kind of interchange in the flex position. That's a tough one. The flex makes it really, really tough.
Yeah, and it also depends on what your flex is. But
yeah, you might want a
your
receiving
flex is
running
a tight
back,
end, running back, or wide receiver in that position. So
yeah, but that makes it tough.
So running back, quarterback. No, you said running back,
and wide receivers.
Running backs, wide receivers.
And you could do those back to back,
and then hopefully, because a lot of people, especially if you're new and you start seeing quarterbacks going a lot in the 1st round and early in the 2nd round. you're going to have a lot more running backs and wide receivers available. And grab those because you're going to get way more points than they probably are out of their top quarterbacks.
A lot of people want to draft a quarterback first because, like you said, your thought is, oh, that's an important position.
Right.
And it is an important position, but you only have one playing.
And you don't don't think about maybe their O-line's shitty this year. They might not have any protection. They're not going to throw a great game if they're getting sacked nine times a game.
And that also affects you on the because there's also negative points in fantasy football.
Yeah,
so
lots of yards, interceptions.
So you'll
fumbles.
It works the same way, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just it doesn't like they're never going to take away a touchdown. You're not going to lose 6 points for something, but you'll lose a point for a fumble from a quarterback, a point for an interception from a quarterback. If he rushes and gets negative yards, he gets sacked 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage, you're going to lose a point for that.
You're going to lose yards.
Okay, so who's overseeing this thing where you're taking the points off?
So there actually is software for that. So like
Yahoo
it's
your provider of your Yahoo,
the
ESPN,
league?
NFL.
Okay,
they manage all of that.
It was way harder when you had to calculate your own points.
Yes.
That was a bitch.
That was the beginning, right?
Yeah, that's
what you had to do.
I had to, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that's how it still continued, but it's now the whatever app's doing it for you guys. Now.
Exactly, it's so much easier now versus because now you can get into fractional points. So you'll have like 113.25.
Well, all fractional points does is give you every yard that you gain each player.
Right, but they didn't used to be like that. It used to just be in evens. Like fuck it didn't matter.
So what are the fractional points?
For example, if you had, let's say you had a 19-yard catch, fractional points would be 1.9.
Okay,
so you're getting 1.9 points versus just 1 point.
If you have
back in the day, it used to just
points,
be 1
point,
and that was it.
Until you get that one other yard, it's not 2 points. It's only 1 point. So fractional points it can also change a game because you could win by
I gotta be honest,
1 fraction.
Yeah, and I gotta be honest. When I started 15 years ago, like we had our commissioner.
Yeah,
he was trying to add up the totals, and he tried to do fractional points, and he goes, "Screw it! If it's not even yardage, you're not getting it." Wow, that's just the way because it made it so much harder.
Yeah,
because it's like he's trying to track 10 teams and do all these points, and he's like, "No fucking way."
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I had no idea. So that's just too much math for me now.
It's too much math in general.
That's why I didn't play back then because it was too hard.
I
wanted this to be fun. I didn't want to fucking deal with math equations.
It can be fun, but also at the same time, if you get too into it, like for instance me, like I've gotten way too into it. I've gotten way into football, way into fantasy, and now it's just sort of sports betting for me.
Okay.
I mean, outside of our friendly leagues where you can win like $100 or whatever like that. Like I'm playing DraftKings and going for like 3, 5, 10K.
Okay.
Like, and I'm sitting and I'm getting more pissed off versus on every game versus just watching my team and going, motherfucker, my team's losing.
Yeah,
I'm
now
like,
it matters.
Motherfucker, everyone's losing.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on?
You got way too much money playing on
like,
it now.
My tight end just exploded in a plane crash. My QB decided to have a heart attack and die on the field. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh God, the Metrodome just collapsed. Oh shit.
So now, guys, now we're to the point of money. How much is this costing you guys? How much is it going to cost me? And how much is in the pot if there's a pot?
That all depends on what you guys
Most
set it up.
friend leagues though are like $10 or $20 entry fee.
Yeah, ours is $20 a person, and so there's a first and second place, and that's it.
I think first place gets 100.
Yeah, first place gets about 100, and the other one gets like about 150, and then the rest of that money, that other $50.
You mean 50, not 150?
Well, yeah, no, yeah,
so 100 like, then 50, and then like the rest of it goes to like snacks to whatever, or the trophy.
Yeah, the trophy engraving, and
oh shit, there's trophies involved.
Well, with our league, we bumped it up a notch because when you pick draft order, it can be as simple as everyone pick a number 1 through 10, and then you put your hand, you write them down in a hat, and you pick. Oh, I got 7. Right. It could be as simple as that. What we're doing is we're doing like this competition.
I can't find my picture of the trophy.
Oh yeah, I know.
I can't find it.
I wanted that.
I was gonna bring it.
I wanted Bernard to get that big old dick one that he showed on Facebook last year. That was amazing.
On the plus side though, my team name did defile the trophy enough to where it looks kind of dirty now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
with a name like Wolf Pussy.
You got to have the name
Is
like
that the
that's
name
my
of
team
your-
name.
That is fantastic.
The champions from 2017 is Wolf Pussy.
Yeah. Yeah, imagine me going with the trophy and I'm talking to the lady at the engraving place. I'm like, hey, I got a good one for you. How
Wolf
about you
Pussy.
engrave Wolf Pussy onto this trophy? And she's like, yeah, I can do it.
Well, 'cause
she was pretty cool about it.
But that's always been a running joke for me. That's why I named my team that. Like, I always want to be an old guy and walk into a restaurant and then somebody brings me food. I'm like, I don't like it. It tastes like wolf pussy. Like, that's what I want to do. I just want to be like, it tastes like wolf pussy. And so that was my team name. Screw it. I won. I don't care.
That's true.
Yeah.
And then the team that won before that was the Heads Dripping. So
But see, that's not as bad.
That's not as bad. It kind of sounded.
You know what's
confused.
weird though?
Like,
You know what's weird though?
Drippy
I always,
Dick would have been
I
funnier
always
than-
thought of a bleeding head, and then it just
Yeah.
finally clicked with me what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just
Yeah,
finally
like-
clicked with me.
the Drippy Dicks would have been a way better than the Heads
At least-
Dripping, but it's not
It's not as vague.
Yes.
It's not as vague because I'm like sitting there thinking like, oh, he got hit with a baseball bat and his head's bleeding, so his head's
Yeah.
dripping. I'm not thinking
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm pre-coming.
Yeah.
I never thought about that until
Yeah.
right now.
That's what I always looked at it as.
Fuck me, Jerry's a gross bastard.
That wasn't Jerry. That was that fool that isn't in our league anymore.
The head's dripping. What
Yeah.
is Jerry?
Jerry was
What
Fleshy
is-
Finger Puppets.
Oh, he's fleshy finger puppets. That's right.
Yeah.
This is absolutely disgusting.
It gets that way
I
a
like
lot.
it.
Yeah.
I like it. So wherever you're doing your league, they don't care what you name your teams,
Fuck
right?
no.
They don't give a
No.
shit.
I mean, no, not even in the free leagues.
I don't even
think.
think in the- yeah,
not even
online.
in the free leagues. They don't
So
give
they
a
don't
shit.
care.
But okay, back to what we were talking about. For the most part, it's $10 to $20 to get in.
Thank
Yeah,
you for bringing
I
us
know,
back.
yeah.
For the most part, it's $10 to $20 to get in. First place normally gets, a bill or maybe two, depending on how many people are in there. And then to pump up the pot for maybe bigger first, second, and third places, you'll have, like I mentioned earlier in the show, $1 a trade.
Okay.
If you drop and add somebody, it's $1. So there's things that can add money to the league pot over the season.
Okay.
That's true.
Or
Yeah.
alternately, it just allows you to pay out easier versus like, because you collect all the money up front and then it's really, really easy.
Yeah.
This is where it gets really difficult. Like, if you just have an upfront fee and the commissioner collects it all, he can just pay out at the end of the season, no big deal. If you've got the dollars and blah, 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 and here and there, then the pot gets pumped up.
Okay.
And then we know who first and second is going to get at the end of the season. But the guys, like, for instance, when in one of my other leagues, one of the guys made a shitload of trades.
Okay.
Just tons, more than I did. And I won, which was great. But then he's got to come up with that money and pay out first and second. And that's when those guys just fucking disappear.
Yeah.
They just
Okay.
go, oh,
Yeah,
no,
we don't-
I
that's why
lost.
we don't do that in our league
And I
either.
owe money to the league. Fuck that. I'm done. Yeah.
I guess I'll
that's-
find a new fantasy league.
Yeah,
next year.
or they wait until next year's draft to pay up.
Okay.
They won't pay up at the end of the season. Like, everyone's all excited, like, oh man, I got $500 for winning the league. I'm gonna be awesome. I'm gonna
Nope.
get my kids something.
Yeah, nope.
Or like, I'm gonna buy a new driver for golf or whatever like that. No, you're not gonna see that fucking money like until next year, maybe.
Is there a fantasy league for golf?
Yo, hell yeah, I was playing it today.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, DraftKings.
That is ridiculous.
You do it on DraftKings and stuff like that. Hell yeah.
Is there a fantasy league for poker?
No, I wish there was, because it's honestly kind of similar to golf in a way. If you
Points,
structure
right?
it, well, if you structure it, you're looking for people who are going to win more often than not, or be in the top 10 and top 25.
Okay.
And then, and then average scoring, stuff like that. So you kind of want to find those guys that are on the top tier. Kind of the same thing in poker. Like, what's their average winnings for a tournament? Are they in the top 25? Do they make the final table?
How many winnings does this guy have
Yeah,
in the last quarter?
if you're seeing a guy that's making a final table like 1 out of every 3 tournaments, that's fucking huge. Even in golf, that's fucking huge. Like, you want them to be in the final group every goddamn tournament.
So what I'm getting from this is everybody that's on DraftKings is a junkie.
Or just a degenerate gambler. I mean,
Is the
I'll
Jew
tell you
on
this.
DraftKings?
How about this?
Yes, he's on DraftKings.
Oh my God, you're junkies.
But I'll tell you this though. I put in $25 on DraftKings in 2012.
How much?
$25.
Okay.
I have never put in more money into DraftKings ever again.
Really?
Ever. Never had to. And I play
'Cause you're-
every
you're
week.
winnings.
And I play every week, every sport. I at least will win $25, $10,
Somewhere.
$12, somewhere every week. So I've always kept my original deposit.
Really?
I've never had to put more money in.
Interesting.
Ever. And normally when I get
DraftKings?
if I
No,
get
I'm
low
not
on
broke.
yeah, if I get low on football,
I can't gamble.
If I get low on football, I just go and bet fantasy golf that week, and I'll win my money back, and then I'm good. And then it just pops it back up.
What else is there fantasy in?
NASCAR, baseball, basketball, soccer, everything.
Every
Oh,
sport.
dude, my uncles are in fantasy fishing.
Get out of here.
Fantasy pro fishing.
What the hell is
Fantasy
that?
pro fishing.
What gets you points?
Like the average weight of a bass that they
of a
catch.
bass?
Yeah, the
That is
average.
fantastic.
So you want to find those guys that are in like the finals or like end up in the top 5 and stuff like that. Yeah.
DraftKings are geniuses.
The DraftKings do it, and then they also have like fantasy leagues for this shit.
Wow.
Like it gets fucking nutty, man.
That is
Like,
crazy.
That is weird.
Like I knew there was fantasy leagues for like baseball and basketball.
Everything.
And how about volleyball?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh my
So for
God.
instance, right now, like I'm on DraftKings. DraftKings
I knew the
does
major sports like had fantasy.
Well, here's
Yeah.
the easiest one. So DraftKings does NFL, baseball, golf, soccer, NBA, tennis, MMA, and professional gaming.
What?
Professional
Yeah, the
gaming.
fucking like
Video
the,
game
the video
players
game guys.
for Overwatch.
Yeah.
Kidding me?
No,
Swear to God.
you can pick Overwatch teams and pick players and stuff.
That is nuts.
Yeah, you pick like 8 of the top players, and you have, and this is another fun way to draft. What I love is the salary draft.
Okay.
So like your team starts with 50K, and you have an average price for every player.
Okay.
Like some guys are like Le'Veon Bell's normally like 8 to 10 grand,
All right.
and so you have to draft your entire roster
Under that.
under 50 grand.
Interesting.
Figure that shit out, and
Yeah,
like
that's
that's
interesting.
so you can do that in normal draft leagues. You normally get more than that. You'll get 200 grand or something like that to be able to draft backups and shit. But on DraftKings, it's 50K. Draft your team. That's it.
Interesting.
And so you kind of have to take a lot of like what I say are flyer picks, like your risk, and they might pay off or they might not. You never know.
Is there fantasy for porn?
Oh God, I wish.
That would be cool.
I've done it before by accident. Like we started betting on how big the cum shot's going to be.
Yes,
we've done that,
Money
which I
shot.
feel like should be that. Like, but then it's like it's pre-recorded, so like you're gonna be able to know.
You know, here's the problem, Roy. You don't know this guy. He probably has done this. This isn't
Yeah.
fucking for the radio.
This is
This is something he has done. He's the one that I'm sitting in Vegas talking about. We need to find the porn with the chick with no legs strapped to a ceiling fan.
That was me. I did that.
Spinning on.
I have had a fucking dream, and I will tell you my dream right now. This has nothing to do with football at all. But I want to see a porn where a chick has no legs and not like the stumps that come down, but I want her like dead
Zero.
flat. I want
Zero.
her dead flat. She's cut like a
like
V.
her vagina lips. Or,
Like her
are
vagina
literally-
is the lowest part of her
Yeah.
body.
Like-
and I want to have a guy laying down under a ceiling fan. They just insert her on his dick, tie her hands to a ceiling fan, and she just spins on that motherfucker. I want to see that so bad.
My new fantasy football team name is the the Spinners.
No, the spinning amputees.
Spinning amputees.
That's all it is.
Wait, isn't there a scene on the Kingsman like that?
No, not like that. Not
Don't
like
they
that.
come out of a fan? Bunch of little Asian chicks?
No, what?
Is that a different movie? The Kingsman?
I think you're thinking
Yeah,
something
I didn't
else.
see that Kingsman
I
movie.
didn't see that.
I
The
didn't see
second
that
one?
either.
Yeah, I saw that.
No.
That's the one you found on YouPorn, right?
No, I
The
swear.
Kingsman on YouPorn.
No,
This
but
is-
like
you get-
Caught in
my
that
thing
black
is like,
hole of Asian porn.
but like how many stories are there of like billionaires that like want to make a snuff film because they're so rich?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that. I want to make that movie. I don't want to cut a girl's legs off to make that movie. I don't want to be that sick fuck. I
No,
just
you
want to
just wanna
find
find
one.
the girl that's
I just
like
want to
that
find one and be
already.
like, listen, your life's rough. Let's fix that. Let's fix that. I'll buy you new legs. I will.
Great Odin's Raven.
Yes, I will straight up buy her new legs and be like, your life is fixed, all because you had to sit on
Like,
a
you know what you got to do for some
Yeah,
prosthetics around here?
just lower and spin. That's all you got to do.
Fantasy football took a dark turn.
It really did. I'll even buy Novocaine. You can numb it up. Shouldn't even have to feel anything. It's great.
It's called cocaine.
Well, yeah, but then like, and I've heard stories about this guys putting cocaine in their dicks and then
Yeah.
like they have sex forever, but then they get gangrene and it falls off. And you
I'm
don't
Chris
want that.
Hansen with Dateline NBC.
And next
I have a
up on
couple
the nose.
Oh, okay. Well, let's bring it back to rated PG-13 fantasy
Yeah, good luck
football.
with that.
Yeah, we've gone way off the rails.
We're so far gone. It's unbelievable. I'm not going to be able to recover it. After that image of a stump spinning off a fan, it's fantastic.
Yes, she could still be hot though. She could be a model
She
that
could be
maybe
cute,
got
yeah.
like hit by a car.
No, that's
Most-
fantastic.
Most amputees have a very amazing torso.
True, because they have to work out
Yeah,
a lot.
they have to. I
Yeah,
mean, like,
I should
their
cut off-
arms.
I should cut off my legs then.
you
Lose
could.
some weight.
You could.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I would.
could
I would
happen.
definitely.
That'll be
weigh,
fast.
Weigh a lot less if I didn't have legs.
You would.
Is there fantasy for surfing?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Interesting. And how would you get points?
It kind of would be the same thing as like tennis and shit, I would assume.
Really?
Yeah, just like average place and all that kind of stuff. Like you want guys that are going to be in the top 10 every week.
Okay.
Stuff like that, like frequent winners. Like in tennis, I'm going to pick fucking Roger Federer like as one of my guys every goddamn week because he's the #1 in the world.
I just found it. There is fantasy surfing. It's called the World Surf League.
Wow.
And you can play men's and women's, and you earn points by picking your team, just like that before.
Sweet.
Really?
So it's the same shit.
And they have an app, too.
This is nuts. Why don't we create an app of something?
Fantasy spinners on a fan.
Weirdest fantasy.
Oh, yeah.
So, hey, Mike, I know you've been doing this a while. What is your craziest team name you found so far in fantasy football? I mean, besides the head stripping and wolf pussy.
You know, I'm not too sure about that.
What are some of the words? Oh, you can do fantasy CFL. That's just depressing. They only have 8 teams. Like, who gives a shit? And you have a 55-yard line. Like, just fucking quit.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. I don't.
Manziel.
Oh yeah, you mean the guy who threw 5 interceptions? No thanks.
If you're watching the CFL, that's what you're watching it for.
That's the only reason you're watching it. Anyways, back to
Hey, I've been an
fantasy
Alouette fan for years. I know what you're talking about.
I'm really glad you cut yourself off very quickly after that statement.
I knew at least one team, the Alouettes, right?
That's the Toronto Argonauts.
No, yeah, there's 2 teams. That's the one that Rock played on.
Yeah. No, he didn't play on the Argonauts.
He played on one of them.
He played on a CFL team. It wasn't that one.
I'll find out.
With Tom Buono. Tom Buono was his coach. I don't know why the fuck I know that.
Tom Buono.
Buono. Buono.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. So worst name?
It's a terrible name.
No, we're talking about worst fantasy football name.
Worst fantasy football name.
Yeah.
Let's look that up.
I mean, wolf pussy's pretty bad.
Wolf pussy.
He was on the Calgary Stampeders.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I mean, you can get as crazy as you want.
You really can. You can just name whatever you want.
Like one of the big deals right now. I mean, as far like I guess I wouldn't necessarily say dirty, but you know, a lot of people have been doing like the Game of Thrones thing, or yeah, like we have a Stephanie in our league is you know, a team that has no name is her, like, you know, and so her whole stuff is all like Game of Thrones themed.
Okay.
You know. But yeah, dirty. I mean, I guess I would say, you know, heads dripping or wolf pussy. Or,
well, here's like some of the top ones that people have voted have been terrible names, right? So there's Adrian beat her son.
Oh, damn.
Romosexual lesbians.
I got Carry On My Wayward Son.
I'm a van down by the rivers. Flocko Seagulls.
Oh my God.
There you go. Oh,
well,
that's
I mean,
terrible.
I guess you could look
Le'Veon on a prayer. Oh God, they're bad.
Hey, we got a caller there.
What? Fuck that.
Yeah. Somebody's got questions on fantasy porn or fantasy football.
It's probably fantasy porn.
Hello? Caller? You there?
Is the phone muted at the board?
It might be.
Which one's
It
that
says
one?
PH for phone.
It might be. Check it out. Every day I'm rustling.
I wouldn't want that.
Tell me you didn't like that.
That was good though.
Yeah, just unmute that bitch.
It's good. We're on.
Who's
Hello?
here now?
Caller. Caller.
Penis.
They hung up.
Caller.
Ow.
Caller.
Are you there now?
Hello.
Have you died?
Hello. Caller, hello.
This podcast sucks.
Listen, caller. If you don't start speaking up, I'm gonna ban you like Kaepernick got banned from the NFL.
Oh, that's bad.
Ooh.
Controversial.
I went Kaepernick.
What happened there, B?
They were there and then they're gone.
Because we took too goddamn long.
Caller, call back. Hello.
Isn't Slob on my cob Rochelle's team name?
Slob on my cob, yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, what?
Slob on my cob.
Oh, turn your head in Coughlin. I like that one a lot.
That's fantastic.
Oh, it's amazing.
So people go crazy with their names.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That's
Oh, yeah,
another
you can-
fun
you
thing
can do
with
whatever
fantasy
you wanna
football.
do.
So let's bring it back again. What is the last thing I have to do with my fantasy football team? I already did my draft.
You did your draft. You've got your players.
Yes.
Set your lineup.
What is that?
you're gonna have your bench and your starters, your technical starters, whatever you want to say. But then every week you have to look at everything. You have to get on your Yahoo app, your Google app, your ESPN app, whatever it is, and then look for the guys. And you can honestly just base it on who's projected to get the most points in each position. That's a pretty easy way to do it. But then at the same time, after a few weeks, even if they're projected to get high points, but they've never hit their number that year, but you know a guy's been beating his projected number, you might want to play that guy over the dude who's rated higher. Okay. So it'll show that you're projected to get less points, but you're going to get more.
And this is instantly once you pick your team, or
it'll show, it'll show all the way through the season, like based on matchups and all that kind of stuff. It'll show what his projected score is
especially
for each game all the way through week 16, 17.
Yeah, okay, but when do you start your lineup? When do you actually start playing?
Usually your lineup is your first draft picks are usually going to be, unless something happens where they get injured or something like that.
Okay.
We draft at literally the weekend prior to the start of
We're
the
doing
NFL.
it 4 days before the start of the season.
Yeah, so that's your lineup, but you're gonna set which quarterback you want, which running backs you want to start, and you do that every week.
So you got your lineup. You guys do. Would you say you started like a week before the season starts?
That's when we schedule our draft.
And then when do you have to have your team ready to go?
It depends on when your first player plays.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, it does.
So if your first player, it depends on player game times.
Okay.
So you can change your guys as long as the game that they're in hasn't started yet.
Okay.
But it's got to be for both guys. So if you only have 2 tight ends and you want to switch them up, they both cannot have started yet.
Okay.
Yeah, but because the NFL season starts technically Thursday night football.
Yeah.
If you have a player in the Thursday night game, your lineup that player needs to be in that lineup if you want him playing.
Got it.
Or you lose before the game starts.
And it's not. Call it 15 minutes before game time is probably a good.
And another little thing I'll add
day
too
up.
is
You can go all the way day up.
Okay.
Is all these apps, none of them are perfect. I remember a couple years ago, ESPN had a big breakdown the first week of the season.
I remember that.
Last year with Yahoo, Thanksgiving weekend, I go to make an adjustment, and I was like 10 minutes before game time,
and it was already locked out.
And I couldn't even put my players in.
Really?
Was I playing you that week?
Huh?
Was I playing you that week?
No, it wasn't that week.
I thought it was that week.
That was the week before.
Is that common with these applications?
Glitches?
Not really.
Not all the time, but it does happen. So it is good to make a practice of knowing.
Just set it way ahead of time.
Play.
I try to set mine honestly Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then you don't have to think about it unless you all of a sudden hear an update. You always check before the Thursday night game. I set mine right after Monday Night Football.
Okay.
And then I'll check before the Thursday game because maybe somebody got injured in practice. I didn't hear about it.
Yeah.
Something happened. They might have gotten in a car accident or whatever like that. You never know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
all right.
Just your intangibles, your intangibles. What did I say?
I don't know.
I don't fucking know. That was stupid. I felt like an idiot for a second. Felt like Garrett.
We'll delete it. Don't worry. All right. So we're in we're in the starting lineup, and we got the players playing. Thursday night football.
Right.
Okay. You got one player playing.
One player. Yep.
That's it. That's all you can play.
No, I mean it's whoever.
It's how many players are playing that night. So you might
there's multiple games.
Well, and the thing is especially with quarterbacks. And here's another strategy: is you kind of want to, if it's a quarterback who has a couple of big wide receivers or maybe a big tight end or a good running back that gets receptions from that quarterback, you want to have both of them on your team.
Okay.
Because then you're sort of doubling up on points a little bit. Because if your quarterback does good, so does the running back.
Okay.
And then that helps your team.
Yeah,
I tend to pair up stuff.
I try to stack.
I wanted Brady and Amendola. I think I had him last year.
Yeah, but you just didn't ever play Amendola because he wasn't fantasy.
He wasn't good last year.
He wasn't fantasy relevant,
which is weird because he's normally pretty good.
He gets stuff, but it's like these onesie twosie stuff, and it's not. It doesn't provide.
No, and now that he's back, you want Brady and Bennett. You want Brady and Martellus Bennett. Bennett is he's a great tight end.
He has his games,
and Gronk only plays 5 games a year.
7.
Okay. Maybe almost half the season, and then it's going to be a Bennett show, and you want that dude.
So now we're in the middle of a game.
Okay.
Can I make changes on my lineup?
No, not at all.
Why?
Because your guys are already started. They're locked in.
Because it's all based off of the NFL time. So for example, let's just say the Thursday night game for week 1 is the Falcons versus the Eagles.
Right. So you have Matt Ryan or
Zach Ertz.
And Zach Ertz.
Which is a tight end for the Eagles. Okay. if you want him to play, you put him in your lineup
before the game. You can't
Before
make
the
before the game. Can't make
But
the
if he
changes during
starts
the game.
doing good, and it's like, oh, I need to
That'd
put
be
him
a dick
in,
move if
'cause
like all of a
those-
sudden he's got 30 points and you're like, I need to put that motherfucker in right now. Like,
Because I did it last year, okay? Because obviously I made the mistake of being a homer, and I drafted Derek Carr and Amari Cooper on my team last year.
Okay,
which is
sounded like a great idea.
Sounded like a great idea because they won 12 games the year previous, but they were terrible.
Okay.
And so the one week that I was like, I can't risk putting them in my lineup again this week. They were against the Chiefs for Thursday Night Football. So I took them out. I took both of them out. I got replacements for them. So I put a different wide receiver in there. I put a different quarterback in there, and they went off.
Yeah.
And they got 30 points each.
Yeah.
So I got 60 points sitting on my bench.
that happens, but that happens a lot.
Yeah.
That happens sometimes. Sometimes
So-
the
and
guys
so
that you would
it's
least
not-
expect to just blow up.
But yeah, so it's that decision that you make, and that's what makes you win your fantasy football season, is making those adjustments. Like, okay, that was a good week to put him in. Now, I'm happy to say I still won my week, but because I found a replacement that was sufficient enough. Now they blew up, and that would have been great for me, but I wasn't certain of whether they were going to do it or not. But those are decisions you make, and if you don't make those decisions before, they're points on your bench.
Okay.
They just sit there.
Wow.
You know, and you can't use them when you're playing, because most fantasy football matches are head to head.
Okay.
They're
So you're
always head to
playing-
head. Yeah.
So you're playing. You know, 1 week I play Scott, 1 week I play Bernard, 1 week I play my wife.
Okay.
You know, and then you have divisions and all that. So it's all almost the same.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
as the NFL, but just like scattered.
And then the biggest thing I would say is never join a league over 10 people.
Yeah, and that was going to be my question. My next question, sorry, is how many people do you have in your
we
league?
have a 10-person.
Yeah.
10%. And
But
I wouldn't
the
go over
average
that.
is 12.
Is the average 12?
The
Because I've
average is
always
12.
played 8s before last 5 years.
The average is 12. But
That's too much.
that's the average.
I know, and that's
Why is that
too much.
16. It goes up to at least 16
Yeah,
sometimes.
I'll tell you
and
why
it
that's
can
too
go
much.
crazy.
The more people over 10 that you have, the thinner the player pool gets.
Okay.
So the less people that are really going to do well, you'll have to pick from. Like your tight ends are going to get real thin.
And there's positives and negatives to that.
There
Because you're looking sometimes someone like you said, like we were taught. We'll go back to Amendola again.
Right, then your flyers
then
kinda
your
make more
flyers
sense.
Make more of an impact on your team with a smaller pool of players.
Right.
You can have somebody that you throw in your flex spot
Mm-hmm.
that is going to be where, like, if you have an 8-team league or a 10-team league, for the most part, unless you drafted the wrong players,
But like for instance,
all your
like
teams are good.
But like in a 12 or 14 or 16 person league, the chances of you ending up with Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback as your starter is probably pretty good.
Yeah.
Like you're going to end up with a rookie QB or like McCown or something like that. You're not going to get a top tier guy.
Okay.
Not unless you're in the early rounds or you're in the late round and you get a double pick in the Serpentine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Serpentine, by the way, is number 1 pick through number 10, and then it mirrors on the second round. So then it's 10 to 1. So it goes 1 to 10,
Yeah, snake
10
draft.
to 1, and then 1 to 10.
If you don't know what a serpent is,
Serpentine draft. It's a serpentine
snake
draft.
for the dummies out
Yeah.
there.
I'm still a dummy.
Oh, okay.
No.
Snake draft.
Snake draft.
But you can also do, like, I mean, obviously more intense, like you were talking earlier with Fab or free agent acquisition budget.
Yeah.
You can do like an auction draft to where you bid on players.
Okay.
You know, and for beginners, serpentine snake draft is what you're going to want to do because it's just 1 through 10, 10 through 1.
And
1
it
through
makes
10,
more and it
10
makes
through
more
1.
sense because I mean, and if you're 1 or 10, you kind of have a distinct advantage early on because you're getting 2 picks in a row. So you're able to kind of grab 2 players that you
But
know
you
that
have
you
to-
want right away.
There's a strategy for it.
But then you have to
in
wait
every
for a while.
position.
Yeah, then you have
exactly.
to wait for a while.
Because you figure if you're the 10th spot, 9 people are going before you.
Yeah.
And then you pick 2 people. Now you got to wait almost 20 before it comes back to you.
Yeah, it sucks. It can suck, but I mean, like the smart thing, you know, like we've talked about for strategy earlier, you can either just pick 2 running backs. Like if you're in 10 spot and it's a quarterback heavy league, there's going to be good running backs left right away in the first round. So you can go running back, or you can get 1-star running back, 1-star wide receiver.
Okay.
And then who gives a shit about your quarterback and your kicker and your defense?
Everything in between.
Yeah, like your quarterback, I would take 5th or 6th round. Your kicker and your defense, you save those for the last rounds of the draft, unless they're an amazing kicker or they're like the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah,
but there
like
aren't
usually,
those breakouts anymore. There really aren't those like huge breakouts anymore. Like back in 06 when the Bears were like fucking amazing and they were scoring 25 points a game on defense.
Well,
they don't have. There
wide
isn't that
receivers
anymore.
in general went down last year altogether, and the running back play was much higher.
They did exactly, but the running back play has always been solid. If
Yeah.
you went running back, it's always solid. It's never like a big mistake, like you're fucking retarded for doing that. But if you go quarterback, tight end, you look kind of retarded.
Yeah, no, I mean, and a lot of people that do their quarterback first are just people that don't know any better.
But a lot of leagues do that. A lot of leagues you'll see in the first 10 picks, quarterbacks, 5 and 6 of them.
Yeah, I mean, I thought our league went too early on quarterback.
Hell yeah, they did.
You know, I was in my first draft. I was I'm like, I don't hear that.
You were 7th or 8th or something like that.
Yeah, no, my first quarterback, it was like in the 12th round.
So for the rookies out there coming in, Serpentine draft
is a break.
Yeah, and stay out of 10-person leagues and join DraftKings.
Honestly, dude, I feel like we're getting played off at the Oscars.
I know. Geez,
all right, we're ending the show. Yeah, you guys. Hopefully, whoever was on enjoyed the show. You guys, thank you for coming on, explaining fantasy football and fantasy porn and fantasy surf. I hope all of you guys out there go and join some league. Guys, thanks a lot. Yo, take us out, beat.
Coming through my area, I'ma have to bury ya. The real scream team on your screen. Scene it's like showdown in the Rango. Tell me who wanna tangle with the ghetto witch doctor, neighborhood superhero.
Yeah, I thought we still had 6 minutes.